y'all doing? Yes, this is the wrestling review for this week. And yes, you are seeing live and technicolor, if you will, from my lustrous apartment studio. I, I,
man.
I I painted in bright colors, make sure that, more room or it looks more spacious. Um, yeah, well,
Oh.
artistic. But anyway, and I put that brick wall together. So, it's did it all by hand. But anyway, Ladarius, Mr. Laddie Daddy himself in the house. What's up, Ladarius? How you doing, brother?
I mean, first off, I love the place. I gotta come by with a gift. My housewarming gift. Laddie Daddy's doing good. He's doing good.
Hey, man.
You
I
know.
mean, by the way, I hope y'all caught Mr. Ladarius live today on YouTube with your special guest as y'all were talking the Philadelphia Eagles win. And, you know, uh, basically they're going to the, NFC Championship game. Yes, we're going to talk about wrestling, so relax. But I like to give a little shine to my partner here when called for. So go ahead and let's pump yourself, man. How did the interview go?
The interview went great. It was very lively. Thank you, and all those who are watching now. If you watched it earlier, I truly do appreciate it. Bree's absolutely amazing, very talented, excellent diehard Eagles fan. Brought great analysis to the show. It's phenomenal. If you missed the episode this afternoon, it will come out. The episode will come out fully tomorrow, but you can catch it now on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it now.
Oh yeah, and by the way, big ups to your guest, your host Breezy. She was phenomenal, um, really good. And then big shout out to Rachel because last week we were going to do football, but Ladarius had an interview, and Miss Rachel was on the show with Ladarius. Awesome interview, folks. Another, go to Ladarius' channel, check it out. He's had some good interviews, and the women that he's had, man, they know their football. It was awesome to hear. And dear Lord, she was making me hungry with her stuff online that she was posting the other day. I
Yeah.
was like, dear Lord, you know, I only bought fried chicken. I didn't get to do all that stuff.
So yeah. We're all in a group chat. Me and someone else. We talk about food and other stuff. So it's always a nice and lively chat.
mm-hmm. Mm. Apologies. Okay, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of wrestling happened this week. Um, y'all know we try to cover we predominantly will cover WWE, but then we'll try to cover like TNA when they do something pretty cool or whatever. Well, the news about TNA came out, and it really kind of surprised a lot of us at this point, and also then kind of the momentum went to their show Genesis this past Sunday. AEW, on the other hand, has not had the best of week, especially with the latest stuff that's been going on about Tony Khan. Maybe you need to be careful about certain phone calls you're taking.
Yeah,
Um,
technology is not always your friend.
yeah. Mm. We'll discuss that. We're going to discuss, and then we're going to discuss, of course, the Tessa Blanchard thing, obviously under the ugly. Um, and also, well wishes to Alley Cat from GCW. She was in a match doing a simple dive against Effie, and she broke her leg. So, luckily, that I think there's a GoFundMe. They're trying to help
Hmm.
for her to raise so she can get her surgery. So, and we'll just also discuss because I also heard like, we still haven't heard about Chris Bay yet, and I've noticed Punk said something. A lot of guys have been saying some things, so I'm going to see if anyone knows. So, um, so also, if you feel like commenting, please do. This is a live stream. We love having comments. It kind of fuels the debate too. We also love to have you guys like and subscribe to our channels. If you're following under Ladarius Brown, and also tell us what channel you're following under, so we can actually kind of know what's up. If you're following under Ladarius, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're following under me, like and subscribe also. And hey, you could like and subscribe to both our channels too. So, no,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, you could do
Yeah.
this.
Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Keep it in mind.
we could spread the wealth. Just a little info. Man, WWE did it again. Well, let's. So where do you want to go with it? You want to go? You want to discuss WWE? You want to discuss what TNA did? You want to discuss AEW? Where you want to? Where you want to attack?
Let's start. Oh, God. Let's you know what? Let's save the best for last. Let's do AEW first, and then we'll
All
work
right,
our way from there.
all right. AEW. Okay, if you watch the show, I'm sorry. This show was bad. It's it's hard to find some good things. I will say this: what they're doing with Ricochet and Swerve, I am intrigued by because we're seeing Ricochet being a heel. He's not saying much. So you know what? You're doing pretty good so far. Let's see how the execution happens. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, how?
Yeah.
And the other thing, let's talk about it. So we thought, because I remember a couple of weeks ago, Swerve said this wasn't over between him and Bobby Lashley. Well, apparently it was because Bobby Lashley ain't losing. And now we got Ricochet with Swerve. So taking away that, let's talk about the Swerve and Ricochet. Look, Swerve had a lot of momentum. Was their world champion. I think that's fair to bring up. But now, what are you expecting with this match? What do you think about it, or a pretending match that they're going to do?
You know, it's interesting because it's easy to bash Ricochet, and it's easy. Like to me, I've said it on the show once. I'll say it again. Listen, I'm a huge Swerve guy. I'm glad he won the championship. I'm glad. This has me curious to see because I think a heel Ricochet, first of all, is long overdue. Long
Yeah.
overdue because you can we've seen with wrestlers when you're trying to push them one way or the other and the fans just are not going to be receptive to it, you could kind of hinder a wrestler to that degree. And I felt that the whole face angle for Ricochet never fit, and to no avail. And then he goes to another company and he becomes a heel, and things are looking up. And I like the direction it's going. I feel that it's a match that it's watchable to good, so because the key to me is like how they built this up to be, which is amazing. And like I said, you throw in, like I said, even the stuff with Lashley and MVP, and it's all good stuff. And I think, because people say it's easy to bash AEW. It's super easy to do it. But to me, that's to me one of the bright spots that they do have. And I hope they just kind of go about it the right way and don't find a way to fumble the ball at the goal line. That's the penultimate goal.
Please don't F this up. Can you just do that for us?
Can you just?
I feel like that's what a lot of the guys on the back saying. Here's the problem. I mean, it's because I want to talk about that, but then all right. So that was really the only lone good that I saw. You had the women's thing, the gauntlet match. It was 7 people. This is the thing that aggravates me, and tell me what you think. You debuted Mega Bane.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We had a debut of Penta. All right. And I hate to do this, but let's do it. They gave you teasers and let you know Penta's coming and let you know there's something to look out for. The moment he came out, you felt like Penta was something special. I felt for Megan Bain because she comes out, and I will say, presentation, she looks amazing. But then she got lost. It's like, because the match wasn't even connected. It almost felt like they do this so many times. They'll debut someone, and you don't know if it's from Stardom, if they're from Japan, if they're from Timbuktu, GCW. and it's like you don't know if they're staying or going. And I
Mm-hmm.
just think that's the most craziest way to do that. At least let them know, oh, this is a new signee. She's just came in. She's part of the company. At least give us that so we have an idea. But what did you think about that?
You know, it would have been nice to kind of give that rub and kind of like at least know where they come a backstory. I guess to put it in shorter terms, a backstory. If you're
Hmm.
going to introduce someone, give a backstory. And because to me, I think you have to assume. I always put it like this: assume somebody's watching you for the first time, and they have no idea who Megan Bain is. Like I'll use it in the WWE sense. Assume nobody knew who Penta was. You
Yeah.
have to introduce people to who Penta is.
Hmm.
That's the way you should go about it, even if people know who he is. And there's some people who know who Megan Bain is. There's the diehard indie fans, wrestling fans who know who Megan Bain is. But assume your audience doesn't know because you can't assume that every wrestling fan knows every wrestling, especially with the product being which is great for wrestling. And there's a lot of promotions and the indie scene is running strong. So I would just like to see more on the presentation front of like, hey, at least like show like yo, Megan Bain comes from such and such, like Penta, one of the great lucha wrestlers of his, something, that kind of gets the audience hooked. Because once again, you can't assume that an audience doesn't know. Like you can't assume, excuse me, you can't assume the audience knows. Assume under the guise that they don't know.
Yeah.
And I just wanted more on the presentation front. That's my biggest thing is that if it's somebody new to a company and we could all know who it is.
Yeah.
But pretend like, think about the person who's maybe this their first time watching your product. Just assume because you're going to go online and someone's going to complain like, well, I had no idea who this is. And
Yeah.
whether they're being condescending or they're being honest, it's still a valid point nonetheless. So that's my biggest thing there.
No, I got you. And, that right there, you saying, think of it as if someone wasn't watching for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, just something that small, and you increase the volume of your brand. You get people to look at you and going, man, these guys know what the hell they're doing. These guys are bringing in someone I've never heard of. This is pretty cool. You want to be a part of a team where, or you're watching something, you want to feel like, okay, the people I'm watching, man, it's something that they're doing. They're really trying to do something great with this
Yeah.
company. So that's about it on the good stuff because, so let's talk about it. Kenny Omega shows up. This man needs to have something because, so in Japan, apparently he wrestled in Wrestle Kingdom or whatever you want to call it, and had a very strong match with Gabriel Kidd. Was amazing. But then he does a promo the week before, and now he has a match with Brian Cage, and people are like, "Oh, just give to Kenny the belt. He deserves the belt."
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even get 1,500 people in the building in Cincinnati, where your world champion's from. Let that sink in. Kenny
Yeah.
Omega, all world, Mr. All Elite Wrestling, can't pack the house. You tell me Roman Reigns is coming to the house. Is that house packed?
Yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, they'll be packed. Hold on, Cody Rhodes. They're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia this Monday. Guarantee you, they're going to be packed.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: Kenny Omega needs to do a commercial, something, or just tell people he's not being held hostage. He looks depressed when he wrestles. I thought it was a joke until I watched and I went, "Oh my god, he really looks depressed." Like, did someone like tell him he can't be around his boys or something? What the heck happened? And he just doesn't look the same. What is going on? What do you think?
Uh, Here's the thing. Listen, I like Kenny Omega. I think the problem is if you can't get people, first of all, if you can't get people to come watch your world champion in the city where they're from, that's not good.
Yeah.
Let's be super clear. And I don't want to hear the comparisons of W. No. Even it's not that hard to do.
No, yeah. If
It's
you're
not that
from
hard to
the
do.
area, you should be easily know that
Like,
your house will be full.
exactly. And then on the Kenny Omega point, I don't think it's on Kenny Omega. Listen, promoting the problem is I think people rely, hey, it's Kenny Omega. People are going to show up. Once again, I have to use the same logic.
Okay.
Pretend somebody doesn't know who Kenny Omega. And I know that may be hard for some people to digest, but there's a lot of people who've been watching. They don't know who Kenny Omega is, and I go really, but yeah, I don't I don't wrestle shame them or anything, but you have to present your product like someone's watching for the first time, and that goes to, like, I put it this way: WWE, when they do do vignettes, do packages if possible, um, because the fact of the matter is, Kenny Omega is one of the biggest wrestling stars, period. And the fact that when you watch, a part of you goes, man, something is off. That's not good. And so I kind of go, is it Kenny or is it the company? And it feels like I'm not saying Kenny Omega doesn't want to be there, but it definitely gives off the vibe like, look, if he had his way, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing in terms of whatever they're trying to do. And I like Kenny Omega, and I'm not slandering Kenny Omega, but when you're watching the product, it's a super hard thing to ignore, and I think, and that gets overshadowed. Like the whole Cincinnati thing, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, here's the thing: I've seen NFL teams and their fans travel better to an opponent to a game on the road.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. Last year I went to a Jaguars game, and the Jaguars were playing the Browns. And let me tell you something. Like, Browns fans, good, bad, or indifferent, they showed up at Everbank Stadium, or that day it was Trevor Bank Stadium, excuse me. So I don't want to get, but my point is that, but when it's in your city and the champion is from your city, it feels like it shouldn't be hard. They have local television, local stations, because I'll like, for example, here in Orlando, like, I live in the Orlando area. I'm not gonna tell you where I live. I don't want people following. Now, I'll just put the Orlando area. It could be in Orlando, around Orlando, or near. If you really want to know,
if you're a select list of people that LaDarius would like you to come over, please contact.
We'll be right back. Now, but like on the local news stations, they have wrestling stories.
Yeah.
And it talks about local wrestlers, and it talks about, like, they have, like, but the point is, and it was for WWE, like, you got to assume that people don't know who these people are. That creates interest, because you can't assume, hey, how dare you not know who Kenny Omega? How dare you not know who John Moxley is? Well, folks, there's some wrestling fans who just showed up. Okay, like, there's OG ones who've been there for, like, ourselves, like, for 20 plus years, and there's some who just showed up for the last 5. You can't assume that everybody knows every wrestler in the world. There's some who do, which is super impressive, but it goes back to presenting your product, and it feels like with Kenny Omega, just present him like the star that he is. That's it. Same thing with John Moxley. John Moxley is from that city. He talks about being from Cincinnati. And if somebody would have told you that, oh, where was AEW? Oh, it was in Cincinnati. Oh, and how many people showed up? Because, listen, there's wrestling fans in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
Like, somebody could have, like, there's people will come to see, like, oh, well, I remember John Moxley from that other company. I want to see, he's from here. He's one of us. But that didn't happen. So to me, it circles back to marketing, even that with Kenny Omega as well. It's just a matter of how you promote these guys, because you can't assume that they can promote themselves. You as a company got to kind of put the foot forward and help in that process.
They can produce some really good stuff. They really can. I will throw a compliment there. They can.
Yeah.
Um, so for the simple fact that they have this issue where they're not trying, or it's like, I don't want to say not trying, but it's like they're so laissez-faire. They think you say the name, everyone shows up. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
could you imagine if it's like, instead of doing the match, and it's nothing against Cincinnati, but take a couple of weeks before and then build up. Okay, Kenny's going to come back, folks. If you haven't seen Kenny, and it's been a while, so you could have done a couple of vignettes, done some, promos or something to kind of build this up. Now we're going
Mm-hmm.
to get a face with Will Ospreay and him. I mean, look, I get it. Tony Khan, you love New Japan wrestling. That's why you bought the action figures. But dude, you're not. If you're just throwing these guys together in this half-ass motion, people aren't going to take you seriously because you're not getting them invested. You know, to you know, okay, Okada can wrestle an hour. You know what? A lot of people have to do some things in an hour. They don't want to watch wrestling for an hour.
Right.
And the only way you can get them there is if you have a story, if you have something that's hooking them in. MJF and Will Ospreay went about 59 minutes, but I will tell you that's one of my favorite matches. Not because of the link, it was because of the story they were telling. And
Mm-hmm.
not just that, it was MJF outsmarting Will. And it was just great to watch. But besides that, Will Ospreay's matches, I got to go here. They're one and the same. If you've seen them, you've seen them all. He gets hyped up. He does all these moves, and there's no real sell. There's no real investment. It's just this high octane, and sometimes you just need to pull an Andre the Giant, put your fist out there, and tell him to slow the hell down. And Kenny, I just feel bad for him. I really do, because I know this was his baby, or this he was one of the first guys.
Yeah.
And I don't, I can say I feel bad for him. I'm looking at the other guys like the Bucks, and I'm going, what is going on with them? What the heck has happened? But talking on that, let's bring this up. Are you ready to bring this up?
Sure.
Jeff Jarrett, MJF.
All right.
Two words I thought, or two names I thought would never be in one ring at the same time.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You take it. I'm going to let you hack at this one first.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I like both of them. Well, let's be super clear. This is nothing against either party involved, but MJF is one of the best people on the mic, regardless of what company. If you take away the tribalism, and you like, he's excellent on the mic. But the promo he cut, or whatever he cut, whatever you want to call it, with Jeff Jarrett, was not great. And I understand you can't knock it out of the park every time on the mic. I completely understand. But a lot of it felt forced. A lot of it didn't feel like, oh, man, this is how he really feels about Jeff Jarrett. Because my problem is this: we're really pushing Jeff Jarrett, and at his age, it's not ageism. I go back to when I was told that we have young stars in this company. You do. You really do. You got, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, I think he's out. But you have young people in this company that you need to push. And I'm not seeing it. And MJF is one dude, yeah, you pushed him through the moon, but now he's relegated to this. And it makes me wonder what's left for MJF to do if this is what you have left for him. I'm not saying MJF goes out there and hey, let him challenge Mox for the war. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that to have him stand in the ring across from Jeff Jarrett and do whatever, it felt like hours. I was told it was like 50, but it felt like an hour. Just watching, and it was hard to watch. People say, "Oh, you're bashing AEW." No, because listen, WWE, listen, they're guilty of this too. They absolutely are. But the fact that you're willing to try to push Jeff Jarrett and you're willing to at the expense of MJF is a bold move. It's because I it's hard for me to say. Cause listen, Jeff Jarrett, one of the great Intercontinental champions of all time, one of the great wrestlers. Whatever you think of him as a person is listen, it's a whole different opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But him in the ring, wrestling, whether it's being a wrestler, being a promoter, whatever, however, his name carries weight in the wrestling business. And I'm not so much against the title run. I'm against the idea of why give him the title run. Because listen, I love Chris Jericho, but why did we put a title on him last year? Why? Why give him a title run? Because, and it's not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it's about the future of the company. I'm not sitting here bashing. Like, I'm not gonna bash Chris Jericho, but it's like if you're a company, I'm pretty sure these guys are willing to help mold the future if you let them and stop letting them get title reigns. Because how does that help your company? Whether you want to believe it or not, if you put listen, we'll talk about WWE later, but there's many examples that I can talk about later of when, hey, push the youth. You could mix in. I don't mind having veteran people being champions, but make it make sense first. Make it make sense. And I feel that the whole thing with Jeff Jarrett and MJF is just not making a whole lot of sense to me. And I'm just going to leave it right there.
This is ridiculous. Because I'm gonna call it what it is. I'm not. It's like this. You're better than me, LaDarius. Because I'm gonna call it like this. Hey, John Cena's. They're doing a retirement tour for John Cena. We got an old guy. Jeff, you want to do this? And Dustin's back there on his rocking chair, but yet no one wants to talk about that. But so Jeff Jarrett, the moment MJF said, when you see Jeff Jarrett, you know your favorite promotion is about to die. That's not a glowing endorsement. And by the way, it's kind of true. So when he said he was doing this last run, I just shook my head because I'm going, this is ridiculous. I mean, to win the world title, there's no investment with Jarrett. Jarrett hasn't been there since the beginning. He just showed up, and I want my last. Now look, with Sting, I will. If they would have done this with Sting, I actually would have been okay with it. All right.
Yeah.
But there's no connection with Jarrett, and that's the problem I have. And then you want to say you've done this as well as MJF? No, Jeff. When MJF says he's a generational talent, he really is. I mean, let's just call it what it is. The guy can go, and
Absolutely.
his ring work, his psychology. If he's got someone challenging him and it's worth it, the money's there. Guess what? MJF is as plugged in as you get.
Yep.
All right. He could main event WrestleManias. This guy is not like some joke. He really is that good. The problem I have isn't MJF. It was Jeff Jarrett, and it just wasn't sounding convincing. And the thing is the low hanging fruit. It's the look, the wife thing. That's MJF's territory. How he always does. Then you brought MJF's mom into it, and the way he brought it, it's just you're looking at Jeff Jarrett going, "Stop it, just stop it," because you're trying to. You know how it is when you see someone trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm watching the fans were quiet. They were. It wasn't quiet as, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. No, it was. Did you get that book? Where did you get it? Oh, what's it about? Cooking? Oh, okay. What's yours about? Looking at the walls? Nice. It felt like a library. I mean, it felt like they were doing their thing, but other people were shopping, going around, doing their thing. And it just didn't. And then when they and the only thing I wish MJF would have not done was pull the Owen Hart thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And I know they have the relationship with Martha Hart. My thing is this: if she okayed it, I have a problem with her. Because stop. Then you can't be that critical of everybody else, but then you're letting them do this. That's all I say. You can get mad at me all you want. I just felt it was bad taste. I didn't think it was right. And I thought the promo, did it do its job? No, because who wants to see Jeff Jarrett beat MJF? What's the plus side for a 57-year-old man to beat MJF?
Look, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And the only answer I have for you is that there is no answer. It does not make sense. It's simply like this. Show me the upside. Jeff Jarrett has beaten Hall of Famers. Show me how beating MJF, like on the micro level, it just helps him get to a goal that he wants to get to. On the macro level, that's where the question is. Like, in the grand scheme of things, how does this benefit Jeff Jarrett? Because beating MJ, you could beat anybody else and still reach your same goal. I just don't want it feels like MJF is being sacrificed for Jeff Jarrett. And that agitates me a little.
Oh.
And it's nothing against Jeff Jarrett. It's the booking. It's the whole fact that, listen, I'm just gonna say it like this. At some point, if you can still go in the ring, fine. But you got to look in that mirror and understand you can't go. Like, you're gonna be 57. What's you winning a AEW championship? What does that do? It doesn't do anything. It bolsters your career. It's not a game changing. It's not like when Swerve won the championship. It was a game changer, and it boosted his career, or it should have. Like, when we're talking about championship runs, just because John Cena, listen, if you're taking the John Cena model, you can't. Like, listen, I understand, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There's nothing flattering about imitating no. Jeff Jarrett is 57. John Cena is not even 50. John Cena, I think John Cena is like in his 40s, like 45-ish.
Or I think he's about my age, actually.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. Like, John Cena has checked every box. John Cena, a fair, when John Cena said a farewell tour, it notice it didn't say championship tour. Like, he was trying on a quest to win a championship. This was about John Cena finishing the career on his terms. With Jeff Jarrett, it feels like we're not going to get a resolution till this man has a championship. And that's a completely 180 situation. Because at 57, and listen, I want to listen. I'll put it this way, and I'll turn it back to you. I want to be wrong. Like for those who's listening, listen. I want to be wrong. I want to say that this does help Jeff Jarrett, but the fan in me who's watched Jeff Jarrett wrestle for 25, for 25 years, from me being a kid, from being knee high to being a grown man that I am today, I want this to benefit Jeff Jarrett, but I can't. If anybody else can see it, I'd be more than happy to listen. I'm not going to shut down the idea. It's that promo was just so hard to watch. It was borderline cringe watching that.
Oh, it was cringe. There's no
It was
board. That was
like it was yeah, okay. It was because like listen, you bring your mom, you bring it like listen, it was just like a fastball out of the machine and you're just hitting the ball hitting it over the fence. There was no kind of change in the moment. It was like, oh, we got it. Oh, nothing. It was nothing complex about the promo. It was low hanging fruit, and you can tell when that happens. Like when the crowd doesn't pop for it, that's not good.
oh
Like
no.
even the crowd was like, so what are you gonna do for dinner? Like that was the crowd. Like, what are we gonna do for dinner?
They were hollering over, "Hey, did you? So what are we gonna do after this? Because this is boring.
Listen, we want to go to Chili's or Applebee's. What do you want to do at like
We
Outback?
can
Like,
leave now."
I think if we leave now, we can get the reservation at 9. Like that's how bad it is.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
So, like I
John
say,
Cena's 47,
47. Okay.
so he's my age. John
So
Cena's my
yeah,
age. Wow.
I knew he was in like the mid. I knew like I knew the 45 was like a plus or minus 2 year situation because I knew he wasn't
It's my
50.
brother.
So like John Cena, like there's a 10-year difference between John Cena and Jeff Jarrett, and John Cena said at 47, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like it's not about because John Cena. Listen, he's second all time in heavyweight championship. He's on the same list with Ric Flair. It doesn't get like he's not trying to eclipse Ric Flair. That's not the goal of the run. The goal is see he wants to go out and do it one last time for us
Yep.
the fans. And he want to do it for us as the fans. Like Jeff Jarrett, like I'm getting the vibe, and I could be wrong. He wants a championship out of this. And quite frankly, I don't know how to feel about that because I can't be a hypocrite and say because listen, everyone knows my thoughts on Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor championship. So clearly, those sentiments would echo the same thing if Jeff Jarrett won a championship. Because I don't want to be hypocritical and say, oh, it's great that Jeff Jarrett's pursuing a championship and Jericho winning is bad. No, they're both equally not good for the same reason. And I love both of them to death. It doesn't benefit them. So that's my 2.5 cents on it.
You're fine, brother. And look, let me throw this in.
Sure.
John Cena has a connection with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if he's saying this is his last year, that means the fans are invested with him.
Correct. It's a
But,
journey. We're on the journey with him.
The Netflix show, the start of the Netflix, he brought up, hey, guys, I can't even go for 17. I haven't won a match in over 2,000. He gave the exact number. So that tells you that there's a story there right there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what I tell people is like, John Cena is WWE. He carried WWE.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Yeah, that was all ruthless aggression. That was Cena.
Yeah.
Like he at least, I mean to cut you off, but at least a decade and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That man was the face of WWE. So you're right about the connection. Go ahead.
He's also the guy that lost the Money in the Bank. He's also the guy that lost the ECW. But look what he has done. He's always been willing to put guys over.
Yeah.
I know the backstage, all right? We're not going to talk about all that.
Yeah.
But what I say is, so if WWE wants to do something special for John, even if it means him winning a title, they can do it. They'll come up with the story. Why? You just heard John just bring it up. I haven't won a match. But I can go into the Rumble. Maybe, just maybe I can. So, and Giovanni Vinci's still waiting to get in. I mean, dude, all you have to do is declare, but we'll talk about that later. So
it ain't happening, pal.
I would love to have like an exclusive video of him trying to declare, and every time he declares, someone gets in front of him and does it. Dominic comes in. I'm declaring for the Rumble. Oh, of course, Dominic, we want you in that thing. And Vinny Vinci, really?
What about me? So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we thought you were bringing us coffee.
oh, my pride.
Oh, what just broke? My pride.
Yeah, it reminds me of the episode of the Simpsons where Ralph Wiggum had a crush on Lisa, and they went. It was like Krusty the Clown was like it was like having a special. They had tickets, and Lisa was trying to let him down slowly,
Yeah.
and then he crushed poor Ralph's heart, and then so when Bart showed it, you can pinpoint the exact time where you crushed his heart. And he goes,
I remember that.
and he goes, and it went like this, like, oh, and then and it's like I don't know why that reminded me of that, but it does. It did. It's like, man, it's like if you can watch in real time, you can see. Oh, you can see it happen.
What's up, Ron? Or
What's up,
April Lee?
Ron? But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in with that, but it just reminded it reminded me of that moment because I'm like, man, basically it's Ralph Wiggum. Like that's what listen, that's what it really is about. Like just slow it down and you can see the pinpoint the moment.
Yeah.
So oh, it's like
you see it right there.
Like it's if you slow it down, you can see the moment when you broke his heart, and then oh man, good time.
We've all been Ralph Wiggums. Anyway, so I'm in danger, and that's what you are when you're in AEW. So so that's where I think of it's and here's the other problem. So you got 57-year-old Jeff Jarrett
Mm-hmm.
who wants the title. So we're gonna do a quick thing here. How old is Christian Cage?
He's gotta be 50, right?
Well, we will let the Google tell us. He's 51.
Yeah, okay. He's gotta be 50.
All right. How old is Cope? Oh, I love it. They don't even know who Cope is.
I'm sorry, we don't know who that is. Oh, Adam Cole. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that loser?
We love you.
I know you just called my buddy Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland, 51.
Yeah, because I knew they were in their 50s because they kind of grew up together and like. So I figured I was confident that Christian was in his 50s. I was very confident in that.
Moxley,
I knew
39.
Yeah, I figured Moxley's closer to me because I'll be 37 this year. So yeah, I figured Mox was closer to me in that regard. Like when you said Mox, I'm like, yeah, and like MJF is the youngest of the bunch, and it's like
MVP is 51. Bobby Lashley, 48. And then let's go to Sheldon Benjamin, the ageless wonder, 49. So we're trying. So if you're pushing Jeff Jarrett at 57 to be the world champion, you have Christian with this contract. That's why I brought him up.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Adam Copeland, who if we're talking cringe, everything Adam Copeland says is cringe. I mean, just no doubt. The other thing is, though, you now have the Hurt business now, or the Hurt Syndicate, and you're putting them in the tag team division. So you paid for Bobby Lashley, MVP, Sheldon Benjamin, and your creative is let's put the tag belts on them. What the fuck is the story? What's the I mean, if you're gonna look. This is the fucking problem, and I was trying not to cuss, but oh well. The thing is, every organization that has ever tried to come against WWE, what's the biggest mistake they always do? they always get some old WWE guys thinking they're going to carry the company. Use young stars. You use the vets to push them. You use the vets to be in matches, kind of give them a bigger name. We're not seeing any of this. I don't know what the title picture, because Darby Allin, he's at Mount Everest, may kill himself, but hey, at least he'll put the flag up first for AEW. I don't know. But this is ridiculous. And man, I don't want to even talk about the women, because are you ready to discuss this? We got their main event, which was you choose. We could talk about the main event, or we could talk about Monet, who wasn't there, who has more titles than potential wrestlers to face.
Look, it's equally bad.
Yeah.
It's equally bad. It's like all I'm gonna say is this. I think the world of Mercedes Moné, Mercedes Renato, Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her. I think she's fantastic. Here's the problem. Creative control can make people lose control. So, like, how long has Mercedes Moné been with AEW? Like, how long has she been with the company?
Oh my God, I don't know. I want to say
I don't think almost 2 years.
Oh, yeah, not even a full year, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like almost 2 years, but you could be right. But
I'll double check. You keep going. I'll double check.
But my point is that she's already a double champion. And triple champ, excuse me, triple. I don't want to get sued for that. Yeah. So here's the problem. When you get pushed too soon, like it feels like Mercedes is, it alienates the locker room. Because, like, think about this. Chris Statlander, as great as she is, it's like this. She's the TBS champion. Has she been the AEW Women's Champion? It's like this. Who?
Wow. I was off.
How long?
March 2024. March is when she debuted.
So not even a full year.
Yeah, we're not even in a full year. I mean, yeah, we're like a couple months away.
So it's like this. You got people like Chris Statlander in that division. Willow Nightingale's in that division. Thunder Rosa's in that division. Yep. Gianna Purrazzo's in that division. And yet Mercedes been there less than not even a full calendar year. And she has how many belts did you say?
The last count I have is 4.
So we'll just say 4 is a hard number.
She has 4.
So, like, folks, you see the problem, right? It's like basically every match she's had is a title match, and she's won the title match. And how many times has she fought in this calendar year? Like the people. My whole point is this. I don't want to get too deep on this because listen, this is not a knock on Mercedes. It's a knock on how you can alienate a division when people who've been in that company and in that locker room a hell of a lot longer than Mercedes Moné, and a lot of them don't even have a title to their name. Some have one title to their name, and they've been there. And some people have been there close to the inception. They've been there for years, not just in the company, but just wrestling as a whole. And they're veterans in that locker room, and they're not getting that love and that push. The point is, like when people love to throw around, I didn't mean to get on this topic, but we're already there, and then I'll be quick.
We're there. Don't worry. We can get back to where we need to go.
My point is this: people on social media, specifically Twitter, because I'm not going to message on Facebook. I'm not going to message you guys on there on the wrestling because you guys are nuts on there. you guys are on there, and I just go listen. It's ridiculous. I saw people on Twitter having the nerve, the audacity, and the temerity to sit there and when Becky Lynch won the women, I think it was the Women's World Championship. I saw
WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania 35 or something like that in New
something,
York.
and then yeah, all of a sudden I heard like Becky Hogan, and I'm like, first of all, understand, like this is the thing. If we're going to talk about someone, let's have a conversation. There's a difference between hoarding the titles and not pushing anyone but yourself. There's a difference between winning a championship and giving everybody an opportunity. That's what Becky Lynch did. Like, Becky Lynch does not need defending, but what I will say is this. If you come after someone who's trying to help a division, men's or women's, have your facts. Because it feels like I said this before last year, and I'll say it again in 2025. If Becky Lynch wins the title, it has nothing to do. It's different than putting the belt on somebody who essentially it's not like she owns every single belt in the company. Like, here's the thing. If she fights Lyra, listen, we'll get to that point later. But let's just say there's a potential match where she could win another championship. Your folks are going to be so upset at that, but you're not seeing the work she did behind the scene. You're not seeing the work she put into the ring and putting people over, literally. Building that women's division, her and Bailey, and putting women over. In AEW, if I tell you who there's women in that division who have no problem putting people over, and like Thunder Rosa is one of them that comes to my mind. Gianna Perazzo comes to mind. Like Taya Valkyrie comes to mind. I say this to say this.
They've been doing it.
Yeah. So my point is that when I look at what Mercedes Moné is doing, like I said, I think the world of her, but to have 4 championships at least, and you haven't been with a company a full calendar year, that's Hogan-esque type stuff.
Yeah.
You're pushing her beyond the moon. You're pushing her through the galaxy, the Milky Way, Andromeda, all of that. Like, all of it. And
it's a matter of time till Tony puts that other title on her. That's how I see it.
And so this lets me know that Tony Khan does not know how to, and I've been on this rant and I've stood and I've said it on here. The only thing I haven't done is writing about it, and I'm getting super close to doing it. Because here's the reality. I can't take Tony Khan seriously booking this women's division because he's admitted to a certain degree he doesn't care. Like, the one good idea he had, I'll give him Tony Storm. I will give him that. And even I'll give him partial credit because I feel that's more of Tony Storm because she understands the bit. So I'm not going to give Tony Khan full credit for that. What's going on is that women like Willow, Chris Statlander, you got Deonna Purrazzo, you got Thunder Rosa, you just signed Megan Bayne, you got Athena. I'm putting under all in the same umbrella. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like at some point, as easy as you got, how do you get the belts off of her? Because I'll put it this way. If she's holding at least 2 championships by the end of this year, that's all I need to know about the booking of Tony Khan. That's all I need to know. Because at some point, there's women in that locker room who deserve opportunities. But how can you give an opportunity when all the opportunities are going to one person?
Bingo.
Like I tell riddle me that, Batman. How does that happen? Like, if you're Tony Khan, this is why I say. And we'll get to the Britt Baker stuff, but listen, that doesn't make him. Listen, I blame both sides in that, but I'll save that for when we talk about that in a minute. But like, folks, if you're going to point fingers, understand what Mercedes Moné is like. All these belts, it could equally. Oh yeah, great, but then she's got to defend them, and there's sometimes we don't see her defend belts on television or at pay-per-views. So at some point, she's got to have to defend those belts. And I'm not saying she's not capable of doing it. I know she's capable of doing it. The fact of the matter is, go after the right people. If you're going to go after someone, go after the right people for the right reasons. Don't knock people who actually are doing what's great for the business. Like what you're seeing with Mercedes Moné is a danger, and it's not going to end well. Most of those cases, it doesn't end great. So that's my 2 cents.
Whenever you have a belt collector gimmick, that's not good. They did that with Kenny. It didn't look good. And then they went with and Kenny wasn't too bad. It's just it really did not come off well, I thought. But
Yeah, it really didn't.
yeah, but now the women division. Who has she benefited? Who has benefited working with Mercedes?
Yeah,
I mean, you could tell me
Go ask Camille.
break.
Go ask Camille how that worked out for her.
Oh yeah, Camille. We don't know where she is, and basically they scrapped an idea of a match with them. And again, that should have lasted 9 months to a year.
Yeah.
Before you did the blow off. No, they did it within 3 months.
Yeah. Couldn't contain themselves.
I'm going to go here. Mercedes Moné, people like, well, I don't want to No, I'm going to discredit her. Because under this name, that's not Sasha Banks. That's not whatever she was in New Japan when she was busting her butt. No. She is happy. She's getting paid. She's telling people she don't mind being a hoe for wrestling business. And I'm just going, the legacy, the reputation you built up has went downhill because of your mouth and just the way you come off.
Yeah.
And hey, can you grab me a Coke? And sorry. So, in regard to Mercedes Moné, who has she benefited? How has the women's division benefited? It hasn't. And that's the problem. And then, you look at Will Hobbs. He wins the gauntlet match. And you go off and decide, we're going to do that match this week. Now, this past Saturday, they built up a match where it was going to be Edge, FTR, because God knows wherever Cope is, they got to be. The Outrunners, a tag team that was over, but they decided to bury now. And Will Hobbs to team up against the Learning Tree and the Death Riders. You ask Gronk from AI, he doesn't understand why they're doing it. That should tell you something. Tony confused AI. The thing is, so I just told you they're having a 6-on-6 man match, okay? Or 12-man tag match. Why in the hell did they let 5 or all 6 guys beat the hell out of Hobbs and no one showed up to help until after the point, and then they played their... Another problem I have with wrestling, by the way, one of the first times I was here is a guy sneaked attacked somebody, was beating him up, doing their finisher like a couple of times and waiting for the person to come in, because in a run-in, you're supposed to run in. Nah, this guy wanted his music played. And that's what it reminded me of. And I'm just going, and he comes out. And I'm like, this guy's gonna save my butt? Yeah, no offense there, Chico. Just stay there. I'll just get my ass killed. I'm just, oh my god. But that's how it was. And it was Dax and Cash and Cope. And I'm like, if you guys are my tag partners, I'm going to take a folding chair and just hit all y'all. Nah, I can't do this. All right, that was your main event. Here's the sad part. You had the women's match. They announced it's going to be Mariah versus Toni Storm. So there's a graphic that said 8 o'clock, February 15th. Just one minor problem with that. There's an NBA All-Star draft at that, or the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, I'm like, that date sounded familiar, and I'm like,
and then the day before is the skills competition.
It's All-Star. Everyone knows it's All-Star Saturday night.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing: even though it may not be as important as it used to be, it still has a lot of reality on
Yeah, I'm just there for the 3-point contest, to be
it.
honest.
Yeah, no, me too. So these guys are going to Australia. Not only have they booked a venue, but had to change the venue because it wasn't selling enough tickets. The last Australian pay per view we called was the Elimination Chamber in Perth, and it was like
Hmm.
what 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. We got up to watch that.
Yeah,
Okay, we watched it. I enjoyed it. I thought WWE did a great job with it.
yeah,
Yeah, we had to wake up early to watch it, but it was fine. I mean, we could have chose to wait, but come on, you want to watch it live. They're going to do a tape delay. Guess what time the tape delay is going to be now? You can't do it on Saturday, so you got to wait. I thought y'all were thinking Sunday. No, you got to wait till after the All Star game, aka 2:30 in the morning, to watch AEW in Australia. Somebody should get fired. I mean,
it, it, it's awful.
what the freak? You you can't be this stupid. You really can't fake this incompetence. I mean, I get it. Maybe you can look at WBD, but I'm pretty sure when WWE does pay per view, they look at all the possible moments, all the possible things, but they pretty much settle on let's just do it live. We'll do it
Yeah,
live. Fans will watch us. If they don't want to wait, then they can watch it and risk the spoilers. But no, fans want to watch live, and it ends up being a good show still. These mofos. Basically, you're recording it on Saturday. And let's be honest, when's the last time someone kept the spoiler free for 3 days? 2 days?
yeah.
This is a colossal cluster. We'll read more into it when more news comes, but uh you know, AW, I understand why you wanted to do this, but read the room. You're not even selling out in the States. I mean, UK, you did good. A lot of dorks love it there, and New Japan people will support you. But you go into Australia, I don't think. And don't try to throw Buddy Murphy out, or Buddy Matthew out there, and go in and say, "Look, we got Buddy." Don't
Where's Rhea, pal?
watch. He's gonna challenge Mox for the belt. Just watch. I just have a sneaky feeling they're gonna try to sneak that. Oh my god! And Buddy's like, I made plans with Rio. We're gonna go to the.
I'm going to the opera house. Not tonight, pal.
We're gonna go to the All Star game. We were invited by TNT, WBD.
I mean, we're technically, why are we even here?
Yeah. Wait a minute. You were invited. Kenny's like,
oh,
oh, that sucks.
so we gotta go. So, good luck on
Hey,
figuring whatever this is out. So, I mean, you could talk to us while we're at the All Star game. So, if you want to do that,
yeah, we could do an interview.
yeah. It's like, oh man, this game is great. I've met LeBron. I met Steph.
I got to
Uh,
meet Trey Young.
yeah, it's like I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah,
So how's it over in
yeah,
Australia?
really bad. I
Shut
could be
up!
out.
Shut up! Shut up!
Well, let's talk about letting things slip on the radio or letting things slip on a phone call. So TK was talking to somebody in the board of directors for you can't make this up for Warner Robins or Warner Brothers, and the person basically told one of the underlings, "Hey, listen to this. Tell me what you think." And the guy recorded it, and it's him just saying how he's sick and tired of Britt Baker. I mean, look, first of all, I know Britt was not easy to work with. All right, I get that. But the thing is this: she was your number one woman. She gave you some really good matches, and in the pandemic, she was one of the ones that carried it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not saying she gets a free pass for everything. I think she has her flaws. We're going to talk about someone who else has some flaws that the crowd wanted to make sure knew that they remembered. But the thing is this: you could tell, or God, I feel like there's something personal going on between Britt and Tony. Something untold or something unknown, and it just hearing certain tones, you pick up on that. And my thing is this: I'm not calling Britt Joy Taylor, um, alleged. I'm not. But what I'm gonna say is there's a good way to respond to people and a bad way to respond. And Tony Khan has put Pennant, uh, Phoenix on the shelf. He's put Ricky Starks on the shelf. He's put Wardlow, and now he's doing Britt. It's when's enough enough? I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but if these guys don't cut it in your playground, then cut them. I mean, who cares if they come to WWE? Just yeah, you might look bad, but here's the thing: you got a roster full of other people that need the time. That's how I see it. All right, I may be very naive into that, but I just feel when I think of Warlow, I think of that moment he had when it was him and MJF. Then MJF did that crap on him. And how do you respond by Wardlow finally having that big victory, even though it got tainted a good bit? You put him in a lawsuit angle. Ricky Starks, one of the youngest guys on fire. Yeah, he was getting pushed by CM Punk because Punk saw something in him. And you don't use him? You could use him instead of Jericho. I know, God forbid. But still. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. That's why, with Britt, I know she's not perfect. I'm not going to say she is. But I feel that Britt was also fueled by the allowance of freedom that Tony Khan gave her, that made her feel that she could do anything. And then when you have to now be a stern parent, oh, she don't want to hear that because she used to do whatever she wants to do, and she ain't playing that game. So that's my view. What say you, LaDarius?
I don't know where to begin. So I guess my whole thing with the Britt Baker situation is this. Clearly, Tony Khan moved on from Britt Baker the minute he signed Mercedes Moné. Like, let's be super clear. That's and number two. Like, I'm not listen. I've always said this in real life. I'll say it in the situation here. When there's two or more people involved in the situation, I'm not going to put the blame all on one person. And it depends how I put more of the scales of the blame on Tony Khan because here's the thing: if you think you're punishing Brett and all these other wrestlers you put on the shelf, you're really hurting yourself and you're hurting the business. Because at the end of the day, using Britt Baker as the example, Britt Baker is a talent. Britt Baker is a champion. And all of a sudden now she's sitting at home, essentially. Because now that the call is out there, you can't walk it back. If Britt Baker doesn't want to come back, if I was her agent or if she has a represent, I would not want to go back to AEW. There's no negotiating point. There's no trying to, hey, Mr. Khan can no. Tony Khan can alienate people, and the name of the wrestlers you listed are young talented superstars. Ricky Starks, Wardlow, Britt, all sitting at home. Why? Health is not an issue. If you're telling me you can't find what you want to do with Ricky Starks, then you don't know how to book. Period. Just admit you don't know how to book Ricky Starks, because that moment with CM Punk saw something in Ricky Starks that you yourself, Tony Khan, didn't want to listen to. CM Punk was probably trying to tell you, hey, this Ricky Starks kid, this guy, strap a rocket to this guy. This guy's going to be a star. And you didn't listen to him because he was CM Punk. And sometimes in life, we can miss the message because of the messenger. That's exactly what happened here. Tony Khan didn't get what CM Punk was putting up, because essentially CM Punk took the side, when it came to CM Punk. Like, look what side he took in that situation. When it came to CM Punk being involved, look what side he took. So I could argue that's maybe a reason why Ricky Starks didn't get the push that he deserved, is because he was in that angle with CM Punk, and Tony Khan took the side of the other people that went against CM Punk. Whether it was the Glass situation or whether it's against the EVPs, wherever you want to paint it as.
Right.
So simply put, he didn't care. And now with Britt Baker, you basically got on a call and said you're tired of Britt Baker. So basically, my question is this now: who else has he said that about?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure Britt Baker's not the only one. How many times on these calls, how many other wrestlers has he mentioned on these calls that he's getting tired of and that makes his life miserable? Because here's the thing. I've always said this: the truth will prevail when the truth is sought after.
Yeah.
And if people really invest, like, how many other people have Tony Khan came after in these calls or these behind the scenes situations? Like, a lot of more people might make a mass exodus and like, we got to get out of here. It may not be to WWE, it's going to be spread. There's too many other wrestling industries. You can do the indie route. We saw how Matt Cardona, how successful he is. So there's a blueprint out there. You don't have to necessarily go to a company and be successful. In fact, you can leave a company, go to indie, and come back to a company and be successful too. So the model's there. The point is, it's a bad look for Tony Khan. And at some point, CDouble, listen, this is 2025. At the rate Tony Khan's going, we got to start questioning how long AEW is going to last. And we're having those same questions we had about WCW. Because at some point, like, people will take your, like, here's the thing. Look at all through what WWE went through. The Vince stuff. All of that. All of the ring, all those scandals. And yet people complain, but the fans still stuck around.
Yeah.
Because you know why? They didn't overlook the stuff. They're like, man, what they did was wrong and it was terrible.
Yeah.
But they still watched the product because they separated the product, because they know that, listen, the wrestlers had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And
if a wrestler was tied to it, they eliminate the wrestler.
Bingo. That's it.
Yeah.
So with Tony Khan, people are going to have a hard time making that discernment. People just don't like Tony Khan. They don't listen. They don't hate John Moxley. They don't like Tony Khan. There's a huge difference.
And look, this goes to Tony Khan. You have to. It's not just book, but man, get a hold of yourself. Act like you've been there. You are.
Here's the thing. This man works with his father on a professional NFL team. I mean to cut you off, but this man works in a professional alongside his dad, Shad Khan, who people have nothing but nice things to say about. He didn't get it from his daddy. I'm not saying he got it from his mother, but what I'm saying is this: the business, take the model after your father. Okay? Yeah. Shad Khan has dealt with people in the NFL. Listen, that he probably doesn't like. Like, that he did. So, like Shad Khan on a call had said that, well, if the next head coach doesn't like Trent Baalke, the general manager, I might fire Trent Baalke. So his dad had a tendency of kind of putting the cart before the horse.
No, and again, if you're,
So
yeah, we're not going
yeah,
to talk about it because it's like, although
yeah,
you bringing up a good spot because of that is something legit. Is if you're willing to say that, what have you said when no one's around?
right. That's the question. What if you said when you weren't on camera or you
Yeah,
weren't on caught on a phone call? Listen, that's how Donald Sterling got caught being a racist
yeah.
with the Clippers. It's like, oh
Oh,
well,
Cody got caught being a racist through. We know.
Hogan got. Listen, you gotta understand. Don't focus on what people say when they're on a call or on the phone. It's when they're not in. It's basically this. What did they say about you when you're not in the room? What did they
Yeah,
say about you on phone calls you're not privy to? And Tony Khan is reaching. Who else has he alienated on these calls? Because now, like I said earlier, now you're opening up the door, and it's not good.
yeah,
It's not. It's not a good look. And Tony Khan, listen, he needs to learn. Listen, it's called people skills. It's like if you don't like her, if you don't like Britt Baker, you talk to Britt Baker personally. You don't. Basically, she heard it. I'm pretty sure she heard it. So here's what's going to happen. She doesn't want to come back, even if you wanted her back. Because here's the thing: the joke's going to be on Tony Khan because Britt Baker could go to the indie scene. She could go to TNA. Like other companies know Britt Baker is talented.
yeah.
She went to AEW, and yes, and all of a sudden you sign Mercedes Monet, and now all of a sudden
She's
Britt's
not
got
the
out
number
of the
one
picture.
girl.
So I'd argue Tony Khan. I'd argue somewhere before he signed Mercedes Monet, last year he was getting tired of Britt Baker. So let's not just assume that this just popped up out of the blue. Because listen, you don't get tired of people over time. You do. He got tired when he signed Mercedes Monet. He found the next person he wanted to push. So let's be super super clear on that regard.
Exactly. And what I'm going to say to that is that. Oh, what? Oh, I just seen
Oh,
this.
I
So
thought, look at that.
Britt and Tessa playing traditional tag showing up on Raw to me. No, no, no. Let's talk about TNA. All right, TNA had a crazy week or a crazy few days. The announcement of WWE NXT with TNA already took Genesis to another level when you saw NXT labeling on the TNA what you call it graphics. So that
Mm-hmm.
was pretty awesome. And then you kind of knew what was up, but the matches were pretty good. I mean, I think Santana and Josh Alexander, what a great match that was. I quit. Santana is gonna. Y'all need to watch out for Santana. That man, he's been the what you call it, HOG, the Hog Champion, over in New York. That he's actually been the longest reigning right now, I believe, and he's been really good at it. And he defended the title against Josh Alexander in one of his first defense. So he's really good. I'm excited for him. I hope they put the rocket ship to Santana. Now, end of that match had a weird thing. So Josh Alexander shakes Santana's hand, made a deal or whatnot, and then says, you're the man to lead TNA. And just like I quit this match, I quit TNA. So now we know in February, Josh Alexander is supposed to be free. Okay. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes. Um, what say you about Josh and Santana?
Here's the thing. Listen, and listen, Santana, that's a future champion, like Devin said. Josh Alexander is an interesting situation because, I saw his wife, Jade Chung, she left the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me believe that I'm not saying necessarily if Jade goes here, he'll go there because we don't know where Jade Chung, we don't know how that's gonna But what I will say is this: like Santana is an absolute star. Like these are people you push to be great,
Mm-hmm.
and like you'd have to be like it's essentially he has it's like this. He's like what JR used to say, like a blue chipper. I
Yeah.
remember The Rock's first night when he was Rocky Maivia. He called The Rock a blue chipper. That's Mike Santana. That's a blue chipper. You do things the right way, great things to happen. Like Javon Evans, you can put a lot of people, but Mike Santana's in that conversation. As for Josh Alexander, I think he fits very well. He can go to NXT and potentially go to the main roster. I believe he like. I, I don't want him to go to AEW. I'm going to say it like that. I don't want
Yeah.
him to go to AEW because they've shown you the model. Like they have nothing for you. Like so, I don't know how they're going to fit you in. But with NXT, like we saw, like here's the playbook. Ethan Page is the playbook. Ethan Page left AEW, went to like he was a champion, and he's in a great story. They're doing something. Like all of a sudden, who would have said that? Who would have thought that Ethan Page would be on the same screen and share the screen with The Rock?
That was not an accident.
There you go.
That was not done as an accident, folks.
Correct. That's why I say Ethan Page was on the screen with The Rock. That's all I needed to know about how The Rock really felt about Ethan Page and how the company. There you go, and how The Rock and how WWE feels about Ethan Page. So if you're Josh Alexander, the model is there. If you there's a path there, potentially to go to the main roster. But like I say, Devin says money bags. Tony is picking up. He can still with his wife and might get it. Yeah, I think the latter part is true. I think they won't give Jade Chung a shot, but they want Josh. I think that's why I said I feel like it's a package deal.
Well, not just that, but remember, it was like Brandy and Cody. They
Yes.
wanted Cody, and the money they offered Cody, Brandy didn't need to worry. That should tell you.
So,
And
so depending on, like, we appreciate that, Devin. Yeah, like, listen, yeah, you're not doing that at all. Like I say, we're having a great conversation. Like you make a great point, Devin. It's a great point because that's why I said what happens to his wife, Jade. What happens there could play a role. Like, listen, with Ricochet and Samantha, not necessarily have played a role because Ricochet's AEW, at AEW, and Samantha, I think she released a new single, so she's probably focused on her music career, which is fine. So it's like this. Josh Alexander NXT, like I said, Ethan Page is the model because he left. When they showed a shot, and I don't know if you remember, it was on NXT, and it was Cody, Ethan, and Sean Spears were in the back, and I'm like,
and Alexis King too.
Alexis King.
It's not an accident.
I'm like, I'm like, they were begging on Tony Khan watching and seeing like, hey, this is how you book people. Like, this is how you see what we're doing. We arguably people call us the third show, and you have a main show, and yet they're thriving here. And like Devin, listen, the North reunion, it would be pretty cool to see. Like, no one, look, listen, you want to talk about, listen, like we got excited for like when we saw Wesley and Zachary when we saw the Rascals. We got excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, reunions are good. Reunions are good. So that's my twin. Like I say, Josh Allen. It'd be interesting to see. Like I say, I think Devin's right. I think Tony Khan's going to throw the money at him. We've seen him throw money and it works. Listen, I don't knock capitalism. Listen, you take the money, you take the money. I understand.
Yeah.
And I get it. So I'm not going to sit there and say, well, you should have went here and took less money. No, because it's not my career. It's not my finances. I'll put it this way, and I'll say this. I'll turn it back over to you.
Mm-hmm.
My financial thoughts are not the same as your financial thoughts. Our portfolios are two different things. So if you want to go for the money and think it work at AEW, I wish you nothing. But I want you. Here's the thing. I just want these wrestlers to be in positions to succeed and thrive because of the work and the time they put into their craft. all the men and women who put time into their craft, all these people who put time into their craft. I just want them to thrive and succeed. That's all I want for any of them. So back to you.
Yeah, Josh Alexander has made it clear, like there are things he would like to do with, like he gave pros and cons about AEW and WWE. Check out
Yeah,
the Chris Van Vliet interview. You got
yeah.
Devin Dorley. That's actually you'll actually hear him say about it. And I think one key thing he brought up was his finisher. Was he going to be able to do his finisher? And he knows he would be able to do it in AEW, but he doesn't want to have a bunch of people no sell it. And that really brought me into going, he sees something more. And that's where, it's just a question of will you let me do it? And honestly, he's done it to Bronson Reed. And Bronson just told him, do it again. And he's like, no, because you're too big. But but it's just funny how they talked about it. But he says he could do it and he could take care of people, you know, in doing that. So a North reunion I would love, but yeah, there was a reason why, it's like when they got Ethan Page, a lot of people are like, I don't understand why there was a reason they put the belt on him. There was a reason why they are keeping him in all the major storylines because you see that smile. And he was that one guy that they didn't use at all in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a whole bunch of guys that are watching and they're seeing him and they're going, I could be that. And that's where I'm saying. And then this relationship with TNA and NXT, it where before people were all about, oh, it won't really be good. For sure, I'm subscribed to y'all because opinion right there. There's too many bias hating one show over the other. Just love and support all of us. Yeah, exactly. Look, if AEW is killing it, we're going to talk about it and we'll give you an honest review about it. But when there's no story, we get upset about. TNA, they've had a roller coaster of stuff, and we talked about it a lot about how sometimes it's great, sometimes good. We're going to talk about the good stuff right now. Joe Henry winning the heavyweight title. Thank God. Striking when the iron is hot. Well, finally you did it. And then you got a guy like Santana. You got Moose still there with the title, the X Division title. And my thing is this: they have some originals and they have some new. And what I liked about it is, yeah, Nick Nemeth was the champ. He was defending the belt. Here's the thing: Nick Nemeth was not that guy in WWE, so he was able to be that guy for TNA. But guess what? That wasn't a bad thing. He was getting these guys ready, and the matches he was having was really good matches. So big ups to him. And I'm happy about Cora J getting to get into it with Marsha Slamovich. Marsha is a dang good woman wrestler.
Let me tell. Yeah, let me tell you. I've said the story. Listen,
Yeah.
one of my first interviews I ever did,
Mhm.
was with Masha. And like I say, for those who are just listening, like I say, people are listening and watching for the first time, like Devin. Like I this had to be, oh man, at least it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And um it was for a project. I was going to Full Sail and I chose my project to be women's wrestling. Hi Carrie, how are you? Yeah, Carrie's a rock star. She was there for the interview I did this
Yes, she was.
afternoon,
She was there with me.
and now
Yeah.
she's here. Thank you, Carrie, so much for your support.
Rock, Carrie.
And so when I interviewed, like I reached out to like a lot of indie wrestlers at the time because I was able to go online, find out how to contact them, and I sent out mass emails. There's one person that I'm not going to get into it. It wasn't the wrestler, it was the person, and I'll share that with you. I'll share that off camera with CDouble
Yeah.
because I don't want to alienate anybody.
No, you're
But
good, brother.
but the point is, Masha was one of the first ones to reach out. At the time, she was halfway across the world in Japan,
Hmm.
and it's an 18-hour time difference between here and there. I believe she was in Tokyo. So it was morning here and it was evening there. So essentially, my day was starting. She was kind of halfway through her day over there, and I found the clip, and I'll ask her if it's okay to post it. But I went through one day and I found it, like unintentionally tried to find it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, my hair was out of like, oh my, it was awful. But the point is, it was awful. That's why you see, like, you see me sometimes combing my hair on the, like, that's why. Because I remember that was like my first, like, I was like, oh man, I didn't factor in like I'm going to be on camera for this. Didn't even think about it. It's like, oh man,
The
yeah.
first time I did this and I did that, yeah, it's like,
It's like, oh man, like I thought it was gonna be like a voice thing. Like, no, you gotta come. But the overriding point is that it was great to see Cora Jade, because Masha, that I would love to see that match, because remember Masha was there. She's the NXT last week, and she absolutely saw. Listen, she saw Cora Jade in action, and Cora Jade went to TNA. Listen, I love the WWE and TNA. I love it. I
mm-hmm.
love it, and I love who Joe Hendry said, who, because when Bubba Ray asked who's looking, who do you think is looking over, who do you want, who's looking over your shoulder, and I love the name. He said John Cena. Like, could you imagine Joe Henry versus John Cena? I'd
Dude,
watch it. Like,
I would watch it too. I think that would be fun. I
like
think that would be. I
like
think
the
I think it would be a good match. I think they would have a blast with it. Cena and Joe Henry.
and the promos were great. Oh, I think I just saw Devin's. I don't know if you put it up. I don't know if you put like the Devin said for subscribing.
Oh yeah,
For
yeah, yeah.
sure, subscribing to of that opinion right there. There's too many bias, hatred toward one show, and yeah, it is. And I stand by my comments that I said. Listen, I want all these, because listen, it's a craft. They sacrifice our bodies for us. I want them to do what's best for them. We can all have opinions on where they go, but I want them to do what's best for them, and because they have families too.
Mm-hmm.
And like Devin mentioned on Impact, maybe 1 million viewers. Yeah, it's like this WWE TNA merge is going to benefit TNA just as much as going to benefit WWE. So
Yeah,
it's
and
all
not just that, but that made a lot of people excited to watch
yeah,
TNA Genesis. Like
yeah,
there were a, it was like you felt the excitement level through the TV about the fans excited about not even knowing not what's going to happen, but just more of you had Joe Henry, but then you also had the moment of fan or people seeing NXT. And here's what I'm gonna say: don't tell me NXT's not viable.
yeah,
Did you not see the reaction that Fraxium got? That you know what was it? Nathan Frazier got.
yeah,
I mean, the fans were behind him.
yeah. That's why I say the merger makes so much
Oh
sense,
yes,
especially, and they're doing it specifically. We're going to see it like with like NXT. But listen, at the Royal Rumble, listen, we're a couple of we're less than 2 weeks away. So don't be shocked if you see a couple of TNA folks in there, and the men's and women's as well.
if you had to guess, how many we gonna see from TNA?
Men's or women's or both kind of like combined.
Let's just say both combined.
Well, off the top of my head, I can think of potentially. I have five between
Okay,
both.
that sounds about right for what I was thinking.
I potentially five. I think we may see. To me, we could see. To me, I can see 3 women or 2 men, or we see 3 men and 2 women. It really depends on who else declares, because we still got to wait who else declares from because you got to declare it. If you declare, then it's not real. So
Yeah, because you got now Vinny Vinci has been trying to declare, but we haven't
yeah,
gotten word about that.
but
So
we
we're trying to find out.
but the camera guy says he doesn't want him on camera, so that's also an awkward situation.
Yeah, that
He,
that's he can't help that. Victoria.
I love it. No, no, we're not. No.
Oh my
And
god.
let's see. Devin says Moose with the X Division Championship. The Hearts will be on NXT this week. Yep. So possibly then Josh Alexander would be cool. Would be debuting. Ace Austin and Chris Bay would be. Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Yeah. Because, oh man.
Well, not
Yeah.
Chris Bay because Chris Bay has the neck injury.
Yeah.
So we're
But like
still
we can.
hoping that he has a full recovery. But
Yeah.
Austin Ace, Ace Austin, he should be at least like going for the the North American Championship.
Yeah,
That would be pretty cool. Him and D'Angelo.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'd rock with that. And then having the heart, like that's why I say I'll say it once and I'll say it again. The merger makes so much
Oh
sense.
yeah.
There's so much crossover. It's gonna be exciting
Now
because
it would have been more on my end of women and men, but Jordan Grace is going to debut at the Rumble. I just
yeah,
she's already at the Performance Center. That should tell you all something.
Devin brings up Gail Kim. That's a name I listen. Gail Kim never gets. I like what Devin said. For the women, Jordan Gray and Masha slam up. Jesus, I see what you did there, Devin. I see what you did. Because listen. I wouldn't mind seeing Masha, Jordan, like Gail Kim's a wild card because if we get Gail Kim, then we gotta have Mickey James. That would feel right. Because I'm not saying that her husband works in the company. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying her husband has some pull as the general manager. I'm not going to go down there.
You know what? Look, as long as she could come out the hardcore country, I'm all down for it.
Yeah.
Because I was a sucker for that song.
Yeah. Listen,
now, she wasn't that great of a singer, but I did love the song.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, for the record, Mickey, if you're listening, huge fan. Huge fan.
I bought the album, so I am not being mean to you, Mickey.
Yeah, so what he's saying is that he bought the album, but the singing, that's why he went away. He hid because I think Mickey James, found control to the button. So he's like, I heard what you said. Boom. That's what I've been on camera the whole time, folks. There's a reason for that. There's a reason. Let's keep that in mind.
Look, I love hardcore country. That's one of my favorites. All right, I'm not being mean.
But say that other thing you said. What's the other thing you said?
Prayers for Chris Bay for reminding me about that. Yeah, it's all good. And then Mickey is a good call too.
Listen,
but yeah, Josh Alexander. Wow, if you, dude, I'm just telling you, man. If I'm WWE, I'm doing the full press for that guy because that could be your next angle. You will not go wrong getting him.
Yeah, it all fits, and like I say, checks a lot of boxes.
And he would fit so well. And dude, do whatever you can. I mean, come on, Kevin. You can even have Kevin Owens talk to him about, it ain't that bad when being in Canada over here.
It's good over here, eh? Okay.
Man, I'm just thinking about a Kevin Owens versus Josh Alexander match. I'm going, oh, dude, I'm down. Sign me up. Someone that won't be a part of the thing. PCO was over at GCW. Won this Rumble match, and they gave him the mic. And sometimes you got to be careful who you give the mic to, because I've had this happen too. You give the mic to somebody who just wants to talk, and you never cleared up why he wants to talk so bad. And then you find out, you go, oh no. Then you have the Jimmy Hart syndrome. Oh, bro, we gotta get out of here.
Oh no, Daddy, hey, take that microphone. Got it. Hit our music.
Cut the mic.
Hey, you in the truck. I know you hear me. Cut it. I'm Jimmy Hart, baby. Cut the mic.
So you have, PCO with, and then he's just got this sledgehammer, beat the multi-digital title, whatever they call it. And now my thing is this. So you knew his contract was coming up. Why did you not take the belt from him?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's on them for that, because if you knew in your mind you weren't gonna if you knew there was no new deal on the table or anything like that, hey, let him take our championship. He's got the microphone. Oh, he's just gonna talk. That's great. Oh wait, what is that sledgehammer doing there? So he wasn't trying to put a spike in a rail for the railroad. Okay, he was there.
He didn't work the railroad all the live long day.
Yeah, listen, he wasn't trying to he took that. When I saw that, and I went, look, the biggest red flag is that, hey, why does he have a sledgehammer? Why would you if you're not Triple H, why are you carrying, like, if Triple H carries a sledgehammer, I understand why he's carrying a sledgehammer. He's been carrying a sledgehammer for 20 years. For 25 years. I understand why Triple H has a sledgehammer. But hey, why does PCO have a sledgehammer? Oh, he's maybe it's a stance of, like, he's putting a stamp on his. Oh no, why is he putting the belt in the middle of the ring? Wait, why is he?
Oh,
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 oh my God, we gotta
oh,
replace that, right? Can we make it like the hardcore title? Let's put the name, can we just put the name of the belt like on some duct tape? No, that's not how it works. We just take all the shattered pieces. I mean, they did it at WWE with the hardcore title. Like, they just took a title, it was destroyed, and just put the word hardcore on it, and it looked pretty good. Like, I feel that's two different situations. But
I feel like someone should have just told him, "Dear God, don't you know that Hardcore Country brought that song?"
yeah.
I
We
love
love
you,
them.
James. I really do.
Oh, Devin said digital media hardcore title. Listen.
I mean,
We're,
if he
we're
wanted
like,
to push for that, why not? I would
listen,
have.
we're messing around. Listen, and you can go across both shows with that. Yeah, like, if we can put that across all the shows, and yeah, the digital media. Listen, I'm telling you, WWE did it when the belt. I forgot which belt was smashed, but all they did was just slap some hardcore title, slap the word hardcore on some duct tape, and said, "Hey, here's the title." Like, listen, that digital media championship, if it sounds expensive, I don't know if you want to go that route, because if it's digital, I assume, like, Apple's expensive. So, man, imagine trying to explain how to replace that.
So
Like,
see, that would have been the ugly. But honestly, it should be in the bad because why? Look, first of all, let's talk about Jordan Grace.
yeah,
All right, this woman carried TNA. All right,
mm-hmm.
when this person went out, Jordan Grace was the woman. She took that ball, she ran with it, she did the most phenomenal matches, Marsha Slamovich matches. She has had great matches. Deanna Prazo, she has had some really great matches. All right, she comes into NXT, the big Rumble from last year, the biggest spot. She comes in, and the fans are going nuts for a TNA World Champion. And it wasn't like someone that had a tie to WWE. It was someone no one knew. So that made it even more impressive. So this woman, who's married to a phenomenal wrestler in Jonathan Gresham, I believe, or John.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
I say right? Okay, want to make sure I said right because he is phenomenal. He's another guy I really hope to see him in NXT or something. But he's phenomenal. All right. And yes, he's a black man, and she's married to him. They love each other. It's awesome. They do great videos together. They have their dogs. It's hilarious. Why do I bring this up?
Oh,
About a month ago, Jordan Grace got surprised about the news of Tessa Blanchard coming back. The surprise stranger in the hooded mask, where we all kind of could tell, just a chin off the old block. It was Tessa. And look, here's the deal. You guys have me and LaDarius have been about this. We've talked about this a few weeks ago, but the reason I call this the ugly isn't because of the fact that she wins. No, the match was excellent. If you watch the match, you will see that match was actually one of the better matches of the show.
mm-hmm.
Tessa, as a worker, is a good worker. Person wise, I wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire. That's me. Because she has not shown any accountability, any respect for the business. I've heard interviews how she tries to put a spin on her take. I call it bullshit. I do. My thing is this, man, I'm impressed with Jordan Grace because that told me what type of woman she is. She could have easily no sold that woman, could have gotten right up after the finish and walked away. She took She lost the match, and as a professional, but the fans loved her. The fans started chanting though. LaDarius, I hope you're coming back because I was gonna.
You want to get out?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want LaDarius to
Yeah.
be on this thing because it's one of those. The fans started chanting, "You're a racist," or "She's a racist,"
I got some of your soda.
and it was very aggravating to see that, or aggravating because people tried to go, "I can't believe the crowd," and all I did was the crowd did the right thing. I thought. Look, this relation, like someone said, if Tessa has more great matches, she'll be in NXT in no time. And I'm going about that because that's what I want to talk about.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, because LaDarius, I'm about to pass it to you, but my feeling is this. So you're going to tell me she should have an opportunity to be in NXT. Why? Because is she going to apologize? Is she going to speak to the NXT students about your accountability and how if you wrong someone, you should do right and make it right with them? Or is she going to bully them or spit in their faces like she did? So, LaDarius, you go for it, bro.
And we'll be right back with my thoughts after these commercials. No,
And now, LaDarius' thoughts.
And now we're going to head to the MLK package. No. So
the greatest package ever.
man. Oh man. We're not going to explain it any more deeper than that. If you want to know, just message us and we'll tell you the joke. We'll tell you why. But here's the thing. But in all seriousness, let's go back to the Tessa. Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the issue. We got to understand. She's in the same boat as Hulk Hogan. Wow. Because here nobody cares, like whether you want to believe it or not. Some of your favorite wrestlers or the people may not share the same political beliefs that you do, or some of your ideologies. But what Tessa Blanchard did, Tessa Blanchard knows what she said to a coworker, a colleague who happened to be of color. And not only did she say the word, but she had the nerve to spit on someone. Which listen, folks, if you've never been spat on or any that is the biggest sign of disrespect. One of the biggest signs of disrespect that you could do to a person, especially when you're having a conversation with them and you just want to spit on. Because listen, that goes back to some, But the point is this: if she would have showed some accountability, if she would have apologized, but what did she do? She went down to Mexico. And she wrestled in Mexico. And did great. Listen, doesn't take away from what she did, but okay, she did okay. And then TNA said, "Yeah, we want to bring you back because we got to remember she was TNA World Champion."
Yes, she was. Yes.
So folks, let's remember that. Let's put that in the, she was once again. But it leads me to this. Knowing the history of Tessa Blanchard, this is something that shouldn't have been sprung upon. This should have been talked about with the entire locker room, because here's why. The locker room has to work with her. You as a company could like her, but does the people she has to work with on a day in and day out basis, do they like her? In terms of, not saying likability, but do they want to be around her given what she said? Had she apologized, had she shown some sort of accountability, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And the biggest issue that I have on a personal level, it's the same issue I've had with Hulk Hogan for years. We could argue maybe a decade. You're either you didn't apologize or your apology was absolute cheeks. It was ass. Because you didn't mean, you said it because you wanted to save your skin and your business and whatever in your whatever. For Tessa Blanchard, for listen, and here's the thing. for people at TNA, you know where TNA Genesis was held? It was in Texas. And if
Yeah.
people in Texas, whom a lot of people may consider there's maybe a lot of, they were chanting racist as clear as as clear as a bell.
How close is Mexico from Texas?
There you go. And they were just booing and saying. So here's the thing. Even they were like, "We ain't getting it. We're not buying it." And people may say, "Oh, well, how do Tessa deserves a second?" I'm a big believer in giving second chances when you show some accountability and understand that your words and actions affected not just the colleagues that you step in the ring with, but everybody who works in the same industry as you. Whether it's down to not just the referees, whether it's the people who set up the ring, people who promoters, everybody. You offended everyone who looked like those who you offended, and you didn't show any accountability. Because understand this, Hulk Hogan was booed not because of politics. If that's the case, Undertaker would have got booed too. If you don't know, Google it. But the point is, Tessa Blanchard and Hulk Hogan got the treatment they got because there was no accountability. And listen, and Jordan Grace, knowing she had to work with Tessa Blanchard, was a professional. Because here's the thing, when sometimes you may have to work with people you simply don't like. Like that's life. But for the case of Jordan Grace, it was a bit differently because it was a bit personal. And I'm sure she had a conversation with her husband. I'm not saying in the room, but like people are like, oh, no, Jordan Grace is a professional. She understands. Yeah, she may not like her and Tess. Like, go back and look at when Jordan Grace was saying goodbye to the locker room. Notice who she went by to hug everybody else. Look who she walked past. It was Tessa Blanchard. Like, there's a reason why that happened. Because at the end of the day, her actions spoke louder than anything else Jordan Grace could have said in that moment. Jordan Grace could have took to her social and said, I'm not working. Tessa's a race. She could have did that. Yeah. But she showed people better than she showed that she was the bigger person. She showed that, hey, it's about the business. And at the end of the day, she saw her future. And listen, she said Tessa Blanchard was not worth. She did her job. She took the pin, and she got out of there. Yeah. And she did her goodbyes. And just to put a button on this, I'm just going to simply say this: everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody has a right to support who they want to support, even if we disagree. I believe there's always there's a level of civil discourse we can always have. Sometimes they make it heated, but it can still be civil at the same time. But when it comes to like Tessa Blanchard and Hulk Hogan, I find it like if you're preaching to me second chances, I can't ride with that because we gave them a second chance. They had a chance to apologize. They had the moment and the platform to apologize, and they simply chose not to. Yeah. That's why that crowd booed Hogan when they saw the Titantron. Before you saw his face, he got them a Showtime of the Apollo boos. Oh, like, God, yes. All that was missing was the Sandman to take him off. Yep. And like, oh, Jimmy Hart said, "I'll go on my own, Daddy. You ain't gonna touch me, Daddy. I'll go through." So all that was missing was the Sandman to come out and take him out. That's it. So understand, folks, and it's a lesson for all of us. It's like, listen, hold yourself accountable. No, because listen, sometimes we may say something that may upset someone, intentional or not, but just take accountability for it. Don't say, "Oh well, I said this because." No, just understand that everything you say and everything. So So that's my 2.5 cents on it.
Bro, you said it greatly. My only thing I want to say is this: it's like to the people that say, "Well, just give her a second chance." Okay, where's the apology? Where's the just take it back? I mean, look, CM Punk, like him or not, he got a second chance, and the fans wanted him back.
Mm-hmm.
Still, after the AEW debacle, and look, he had blame to go too on his head, but he came back. And look at the forgiveness they gave him, and look at how he is now. So it's not like no one could get forgiveness. It's not like people would, hold it to him. But it's like, dude, we just want you to be accountable for your actions, for what you did. And I just salute Jordan Grace. I really do. I mean, she has nothing to be ashamed of. She brought TNA to a prominence. I will say, if it wasn't for Jordan Grace, this agreement doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really feel that's that she just was able to build a bridge because of her, and I I'm excited about her. I think she is going to do great things with WWE. I would put her in the main roster just because she has that factor, and also it would be nice so people could see, hey, we saw her work her way up. She did it the right way. She didn't throw her under the bus, and look where she's at now. I just hope. And then if this whole thing about Tessa getting a shot at WWE, she'll get a shot. But I'm pretty confident Bianca, Naomi, Naya, Jade, Jordan may have a little bit to say something about that. Oh, and Rhea, because Rhea loves them. Oh, by the way, did I just mention all the top stars too? I mean, Bailey will also whoop someone's booty too. Now, don't get it twisted.
By the way, Naya, I love you.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes. We know Nia Jax always a favorite of this industry. Let's talk about it. WWE Monday Night Raw or SmackDown was really good. We got to find out that Bailey's number one contender. Well, then we finally get the match between Bailey and we get more. We have Rey Mysterio was out there. Kevin Owens got involved. That was kind of fun. And then we get the announcement because Nick Aldis, I don't get it. So the ladder match has been signed for, but apparently a contract had to get revised. So now we're going to have on Saturday Night Main Event, would probably be better. We will have Cody and Kevin signing the contract with Shawn Michaels, the hometown boy. I wonder if they're going to sell out. Anyway, if to moderate the contract signing, Shawn Michaels, nothing bad can happen, can it?
It'll be fine.
And then we get all right, let's talk about this. We got two big moments, though, and I got to go here. It was all Jacob Fatu. This show was about Jacob Fatu. So Solo comes out. He doesn't say anything, kind of gets the Dominic Mysterio treatment, walks out. And it almost felt like in a video game, you pick up a mic and it becomes golden and you just start doing your thing. Jacob just goes ham on the promo. And yeah, they're wanting him, but you could tell he's not even fazed by it. He's even going with it because it's going with what he's saying. But my God. And then we get the biggest tease. Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman. So we're going to get, that's going to be on Saturday Night Main Event. So Darius, what did you think of that Braun, or let's talk about Jacob and then let's talk about Braun. What do you think about this?
Listen, folks, I want to tell you guys again. Jacob Fatu is a Lifetime movie. Okay, I love you. So, like, we've all seen the movie, like on Lifetime, where like there's that one person that you said hi to about 10 years ago, and they never let it go. Like, oh my god, you said hi to me, and they've been following you ever since. I feel Solo said hi to Jacob Fatu somewhere, maybe when like maybe at their previous company, maybe somewhere, maybe at a maybe they were out and about, and like, hey, Jacob, keep up the great work, and then he never forgot it, and then all of a sudden he dead life to the protection of Solo Sokoa, unbeknownst to Solo Sokoa. So, and he's, hey, man, are you okay? Like if you saw Solo get in an argument with the guy who got in an argument with Solo, he didn't make it to the end of the movie. I'm just gonna leave it there. He's like, you mess with Solo, you must go because of Solo. Why do you keep saying his name? Shut up! I'm trying to destroy you because of Solo. And here's the thing. Jacob, listen, I'm telling you right now, give this man. I want a Solo run out of Jacob Fatu, because here's the thing. Respectfully to Tama Tonga and respectfully, Jacob Fatu, that guy has all the vibes. Like, that guy is a Solo. Like, he's a Solo. Like, he has the potential to be a champion. And out of everybody in the group, not knocking Tama, Tongalo and Tama, not knocking those guys. Yeah. Like once again, that's off-putting too. If you're a woman, like, oh my god, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, listen, that's very off-putting. Why are you single? Yeah, that you see what you just did right there? That's why. But I like I say, I love Jacob Fatu. I just love how it all came together. Because like I say, Solo and his the Solo Sokoa weekend collection, yeah, listen, listen, like the weekend, he probably couldn't feel his face because of the tightness of the clothing. But
yeah.
I can't feel my face. No, seriously, guys. Oh my god, these shoes are too tight. Oh my god. I wanted a size a size bigger so I get space. But like I say, I like Jacob Fatu, like character work, stuff in the ring. And then listen, oh my god, and then Braun Strowman shows up. Like that's television. Like that's and then listen to the thing. We're getting that on Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
So we're not like that has all the vibes. Like, you could easily book that as a PLE match if you wanted to. Because listen, I'd watch either way. You got one big crazy dude and one just crazy dude. You don't have to put a size on him, because any man who goes like, I love you, so when he says I love another grown man, which is fine, you can say that. But it's like this. Think about all the people who Solo has encountered, and all of a sudden Jacob Fatu's right there. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, that's a Lifetime movie. And Solo probably's like, man, my wife doesn't like listen. I love you, Solo. I will drive the kids to school for you, Solo. They told me I'm not allowed on school property because they said I yelled at They said I frightened the children. Solo. No, I can see that. I can see that. But yeah, but those are my thoughts on Fatu.
Man, look, I'm just gonna say this. Just put them in a match. Let's see it. I can't wait for Saturday Night Main Event. I mean, and I like what they're doing with the tag team division. I want to say, good job. You're making every tag team feel valuable now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's keep it going. Let's get some more stories. Bianca Belair, Naomi. There's no leads apparently on the Jade Cargill case, but yet Jade goes, "You sure?"
Yeah.
And look, we don't know when this is gonna wrap up. I mean, we do have a SmackDown next week also, so the 31st. So it is possible we get maybe something there, but eventually we got to know who's the person, because here's the other thing. we have a transfer portal that we just got Bailey, who was one of the suspects. She's on Raw now.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. I know I've said who I think. I know you said who it is, but what's your... Obviously, we know it may not get revealed at the Rumble. It may. It may get revealed because, Jade is supposed to come out eventually. But how would you do this? Because my thing is, man, I have so many ideas, but it's like, I want to know what you think.
Listen, I've said it once.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again. It's Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we both said that. So, yeah.
Because here's the thing.
We both sign off on that. We both feel the same way.
And I said that, I think I said this last year. Because it happened technically last year. Like,
yeah.
It's Bianca. Because, like I explained on the podcast I'm going to explain the same thing. Yeah, it was just so coincidental that we just saw Jade attacked during Bianca's match. So obviously, Bianca wouldn't have done it because no, if anything, that makes her even more of a suspect because we don't know when Jade was attacked. There's no timestamp. Like, go back and see like the great accidents in WWE history. I recall seeing a timestamp when Stone Cold got ran over. I don't recall a timestamp when HBK got attacked back.
Now, what's the great thing about, you brought that up. What's great about what happened with Stone Cold, we found out it was Rikishi, but we found out it was someone that paid, and it was Triple H that was the whole mastermind, which, what? Chef kiss again.
Yeah.
There are some storylines you just go, I am so glad I was invested in this.
Right. And that's the point, because you're like, what does Rikishi have to do? Listen, you got to go to the people who benefit the most out of the person getting attacked. So when people were rattling off like, Naomi and Bailey, and I'm like, here's the thing, I know it wasn't Bailey. That means Bailey was going back to a heel. Bailey, we're not going down that route.
Yeah,
Naomi, Naomi's interesting, but my only problem is that Naomi wouldn't have been as beneficial, because I believe that as much as she was jealous of Jade and Bianca's relationship, go back, and we talked about this off camera. I'm gonna listen. Go back to that promo that Liv cut on Bianca, and said that looking out, for looking out for. Hey, you got to look out for her.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and then
can I throw something else at you too?
Yeah, go ahead.
That was probably talked about because it just hit me like a few hours ago. Remember how she always changed like her expression when Bailey was around?
Correct.
Like, and they all would be like, "Snap out of it, girl! You ain't like that." And it was always Jade saying that.
Yeah.
And it just made me go, see, it's been way farther than just the Liv comment. But yeah, you go on.
To me, you go back to, I'd argue, go back to the moment when they first won the tag team belts. Mm-hmm. And who was getting the attention? We were talking about Jade. We weren't talking about Bianca.
Yeah.
And then you're mentioning on how the facial tones, how that played a factor in. Mm-hmm. But the Liv promo to me is the linchpin, because Bianca said in her mind, I'm going to get her before she gets me. Because Liv said something that was absolutely right. At some point, hey, Jade might be the star. Like, and she didn't like Liv didn't come out and say it directly, but it was basically say, hey, you need to look out for her. And if you're Bianca, like, you didn't think about it at the time, but the more you thought about like the attention Jade was getting, you're like, oh my God, Liv had a point.
Yeah.
And basically said, hey, I'm going to get you before you can get me. Yep. And people may say, oh, well, Bianca as a heel, Bianca was one of the best heels in NXT.
Yeah.
People, I think, tend to sleep on that because we see Bianca and the way she's been built as a great face. But to me, it makes too much sense, because We don't know when Jade was attacked. All we know that we just saw the footage of Jade laying on a car, a lot of makeup on, by the way. She looked great. And all of a sudden, it happened during the triple threat match.
Yeah.
So Bianca left and checked on her friend. So because here's the thing. Notice like she had a slight pause like on her face and she ran down, helped her friend into the but to me I said, "Oh yeah, she did it." Because because see the thing is no one's suspecting you. That's what
No.
makes this easy. Because out of all like no one mentioned Bianca's name. I'm like people say, "Oh, well, how does Charlotte Flair benefit from knocking out Jade?" If anything, if Tiffany Stratton had got attacked, oh yeah, I'd say Charlotte did that. But if Jade Cargill got attacked, Charlotte Flair doesn't come to mind because it wouldn't make any sense. The only people who would have benefited from Jade getting attacked is either Bianca or Naomi.
Yeah.
Because Bailey was never a suspect to me. And so,
Yeah.
oh
Bailey was
God.
never. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey. The only other one would have been Naomi, but it wasn't by. It's one of those. It's like Bianca for me, and then Naomi's like right. So
Yeah. Because when people kept saying Naomi, I'm like, okay, sure. But Naomi never gave off the vibe like she would push somebody off a loading dock
yeah.
just to be one half of the women's tag team. Like that doesn't feel like a great enough motive for me.
But now you can look at it like this, and this is where I can see where people are looking. Look at all the matches Naomi has had with Nia. Look how her profile has gotten. My thing is this: when you look at uh, what? Oh Lord, hold on.
Yeah, I'll talk to John later. Like I'll talk to
Yeah, we're gonna talk, John. Don't worry, we're getting there.
yeah,
Like the interaction we got with Roxanne Vale, and it's Nia Jax. We'll talk about
John. Look,
every time Nia comes on. Look, don't do that, John. We about had a family fight about this, so let's not do this.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see it, and we're
Yep.
gonna keep moving.
Yeah, we're gonna. All right.
Because listen, as Michelle Obama would say, when you go low, I'll go high. So I'm not gonna respond to it, John. I see what you're doing, John. You're throwing out the bait. I'm supposed to be like this piranha or this shark, supposed to take the bait. Nah, I'm a dolphin. I'm chilling with Nia Jax. And so hey,
I just see you. I see your head with the glasses on the dolphin, and I just see Nia.
oh my god, I didn't know dolphins had afros. Yeah, it's very impressive, right?
You know what? I think it can happen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this. You know, with Bailey, she had her match with Tiffany. You kind of could tell this was a goodbye to SmackDown because of what we ended up getting on Raw. So, which is funny. Yeah, goodbye SmackDown. Hello Raw. Wait a minute, I'm fighting Nia again. But anyway,
I did on the other show, right? Yeah, but you're doing it here. All right.
Raw. But
Raw.
the thing is that either way they go, I think honestly it is going to be Bianca, and I don't relax people. Let's see how this plays out because I can say this: Hunter kind of earns that title of let it play out. I don't
Yeah.
care how long it goes because at least I know they're doing something. He's got these in the works, and I'm going to go here. If it ends up being Bianca, I just know I can't wait to see how this works because to me it should make nothing but money. And not only that, you need another heel. We've been saying that, especially if Tiffany's now getting cheered. She's saying it's Tiffany time and the crowd's popping. So you're gonna have to figure something out. And I know Charlotte's supposed to come back with her Charlotte in the brink. Apparently, John's laughing. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Man, first of all, watch a video. It was out by WWE. They did like a behind the scenes with Penta.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up first, so y'all would stop with this nonsense of, oh, Penta went over. They were not mad at Penta. They were hugging the man.
You guys were mad for no reason.
Huh?
I said you guys were. I'm like you guys were mad for no reason. That I'll say it.
Oh my god! I mean, I get people like, oh, someone said in the back. They probably said it, but they probably weren't high ranking, so they could kiss his ass. I mean, but first of all, I know you saw it. What do you think of that? That video to me was really cool. Go ahead.
Oh, listen, Penta. Listen, that guy has swag,
Oh,
and then that behind the scene, like, it, like I say, I love backstories and stuff. Like, here's the thing, Penta, like, like even his match against, I'll say Butch. He ain't gonna come after me.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh God!
Pete Dunne. Oh, my fingers. Oh, my
Ah!
my phalanges. No, uh, like he Penta, like even though like it's been 2 weeks, like listen, it's at like the video was amazing. Like the intro is a little bit of misstep, but it's okay. Hey, when you're Penta, hey, you can't show everybody everything. Listen, the spinning firework behind that's what made up for it.
Oh yeah.
That was like like I said, in the match that what Pete Dunne was great. It was well done. Yeah, like Penta. Listen, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Penta this year. Like, it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be because there's a couple of good matches on the horizon for him. And I see what John said. I think
Yeah.
Naomi attacked Jade because after Bianca asked Naomi if she had heard from Jade, and Naomi said no. And not long after, Jade tweeted out, "After, are you sure?"
We did bring
Yeah,
that. Yeah, we
I
brought
saw
all
that
that
too.
up. Yeah. Look, you look. We're not trying to be mean. I'm going to say it though. When I think of this whole storyline, it just screams it needs to be Bianca turning on Jay.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, what are we really doing?
Because if the goal was to get Naomi healed, you listen. When Bianca goes healed, Naomi's I feel it's going to be healed by proxy.
Yeah.
So because listen, because they're tag team champions. Like I say, I'm not saying John's wrong with his theory, but I'm thinking maybe Jade said, "You sure about maybe something else?"
Yeah. And not just that, but here's something to think about. Let's just say we get Liv Morgan and Raquel to go for those tag titles. Because I think it's going to happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say Jade shows up, and that's when Bianca turns on Naomi or runs away from Jade, and Naomi gets beat. And there you go. You have new tag champs. And now you have a rivalry with Bianca and Jade. And Naomi could either be the middleman or, because like I said, you could do a middleman project, but I don't see it as, it wouldn't benefit because Naomi hadn't really benefited that highly. She's just a tag champ. But look, we'll see. That's all I'm saying. I think we're going to find out closer to the Rumble. I would hope because
Yeah.
I don't want it to try to happen at the Rumble because I feel like you would lose the substance of what it's about. You wouldn't get, oh man, Jade. Like if Jade comes out, how will Bianca react? Well, let's. Why are we worried about how would Bianca? That's her girl.
Yeah.
I mean, now that would be interesting. Like she shows up and it's like, oh Lord, yeah, exactly. It's like there's Bianca
Yeah.
did. I,
Yeah.
I I agree with LaDarius by the way on that too. Glad he asked about the
Like
video.
I say, I understand where John's coming from.
Yeah, yeah,
I absolutely do because, like I say, John's not like most people who, when you try to ask them, like John's giving substance to why it could be Naomi. Other people on Twitter like, oh well, it's never to make sense. Oh, because Bianca was in the ring. Like, folks, like when you watch a detective show, like do they like sometimes they'll tell you when they find a body.
yeah.
Like, so you're telling me that just because Bianca was in the ring, she could have no like we didn't see them together but once and that was it. So obviously you're gonna show like
I just I hope when they do the like the backstage footage, you actually see her like with Jade with her
oh man,
braid and like
oh,
beating her down and then throw her off the car. It's
oh
just
man.
it's like a mannequin, but it's like you see Jade.
Yeah,
It's like it would be great. They got to do something to
You see
make
Hunter?
it visual.
Yeah, I did this. I did a good job. Where's your
God,
Dominican from?
look,
I can't
Jay.
go into
No,
that.
no. We use heartbreak to do the running into the car. Look.
Yeah, are you? Hey, you got. Hey, everyone likes a throwback, right? Ah, damn it, Hunter. Yeah.
Oh God.
All
But
right.
I'm
Okay.
just saying, I think it would be good. But
All
anyway,
right, folks. That's lunch. That's lunch, folks.
so we've talked about Penta, and it is awesome for Penta. Now, Raw, we had. Golly, how the hell did Raw start? I can't think of it. I mean, well, first of all, we had Wade Barrett with our guy, Michael Cole, who was the Yeet, and they introduced the Yeet Man. And Michael Cole, I understand you're trying to make Pat McAfee proud, but dude, what the hell was that? I mean, dude, in T. Will's vocab of dancing, that wasn't dancing, player. That was disgraceful. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I mean, if Ron was with us, he would probably be like, that was, if that's called dancing, well, you're no friend of mine there, Michael Cole. So anyway, let's see here.
Yeah. Raw started off with
took out Jay.
Yeah.
She says, I did it for
I
would not be even mad at that.
Listen, now, Devin, if they do that, like I'd accept that. I'd accept
did it for Solo.
Look, oh my God, who attacked Roman? Listen, we already know who did it. I did it for Solo. Hey, Jacob.
God. Hold on, Jacob wouldn't let you finish the answer to the question.
Be like, who did? I did it for Jacob's. I too did it for Solo. Jacob Aloysius, I too did it for.
Every character needs to have the middle name Aloysius, even if it's not.
It works. Listen, it's a great name and it works.
It really is.
And then John's right.
Yeah. So the show starts off. Nia Jax actually attacks Rhea, and remember, we just got news that she is, or that Bailey's, or later on announces her news. But anyway, we get Jey Uso. He's kicking off the show, and for God's sakes, stop showing Michael Cole dancing. That's all I ask. Gunther comes out. Basically, they're promoting their Saturday night main event match. Gunther's defending the title against the Yeet Man. Are they really going to beat Gunther, or is Jey Uso going to be the world champ, or what do you think, man? I don't know what to think.
Listen, it's going to be the shortest answer on this show I'm going to give. No. Okay.
Look, in my head, I'm saying no, but I'm kind of concerned because I'm wondering. Look, all I'm going to say is this: WWE, do not let Bill Goldberg get anywhere near the arenas. All right, I don't care if he gives you 5 tubes of Ben Gay. Don't take it. Okay? Just listen.
This is toothpaste. He lied to us. Get it. Oh
God.
He squeezed out the Ben Gay and put toothpaste in. Get
it. And by the way, Jimmy, the interaction between Jimmy and Gunther are actually really good. You get to see the dichotomy of them both. But let's talk about, we get Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi actually getting to wrestle, and they start out with the New Day music, and Xavier's like, hell to the nah, stop. But let's talk about what happened before. They tried to bribe my guy, JBL, with $2 whole. I swear I saw Ron trying to slip in some food stamps. That's the equivalent of what Kofi just did to JBL.
Take the card, player. Take the card. I'm like, so they're also cheap too. Like, listen, you could have gave the man $2 hundos, not two. No.
You gave $2.
like that couldn't get you nothing off the dollar menu because you got to pay tax. So basically, you still have to have tax for yeah. So not only are they terrible people, they're very frugal people as well. So listen, not a good look. Not a good look.
All I know is this: the Yeet Man. Look, all I know is Wade Barrett next to Michael Cole gives him a professional look, unlike somebody, because they're doing the bros yeeting all over the place. Poor Wade Barrett. He must have been embarrassed. I know I would have. Oh, Kyle, I'm yeeting myself. Oh, me too, Mike. It's like, oh, god damn it, guys. I was like, can we get Corey back? At least Corey has some decorum. And then, so JBL comes out after Bray, and then we got and then they come back and get the $2 back from JBL. Kofi yelling, I want my $2 back. What did you think of the? And by the way, we saw the greatest power bomb, maybe not ever executed, and Rey Mysterio sold it like a champ, but Kofi didn't. What did you think?
Listen, that to me was the highlight of the match. It's a great match. Listen, the thing going on between Rey Mysterio, locker room leader, versus the New Day, and JBL. It's always great to have JBL on commentary. So, like, he wasn't like he was like on the side of the commentary desk, but he was there. And listen, listen, to me that was the highlight because listen, like Rey Mysterio, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. Let's put that on there.
Yep.
Like, you can still botch at the age of 50 and in the Hall of Fame. Like, you can, like,
he went for the power bomb, flip Ray over, and Ray just laying there like, okay.
It's like, I don't know. You can blame Kofi, you can blame Ray. All I know that was a highlight of the match. Like, oh my god, who do we blame? Both. Like, but it was a great match, and JBL, just like the $2 to JBL is basically, it's like $1 million to like to Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, like that. Like listen, but notice he didn't give it back. He kept it.
Well, because he took the money back. He got the money back, but JBL never went for it. He's like, oh.
So it was. I'm thinking maybe he wanted change. Like, yeah, he wanted it in quarters. People like quarters. So
you know what? You're probably right. He has a quarter book, and he's like trying to get to certain states and stuff. So yeah,
I'm missing Missouri. Crap.
Damn.
Another North Dakota.
Do you have a Missouri quarter? All right, so Ray wins the match. LWO runs out to protect him, but then so New Day leaves, but then comes back through the crowd to attack one of the LWO guys, which was hilarious. I didn't even see it. I was cracking up laughing seeing that one. Talking about Penta, the debut, and then they talked about Gable, and he's going to a mustache man who can help us with their Latino problem or their luchador problem. At least they said Dragon Lee too. At least that they gave that man a little respect because last time we didn't get no Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee needs to hurry up and come back. I'm worried that he's missing on the milk part. Kofi went to pick up Ray just fell to the floor. Dude, that was like I said when he because he just yelled to JBL going, "I'm about to do a powerbomb better than you," and he went like he slipped. And all I gotta say is just Ray just laying there on all fours. I'm like, God, this is just not right. Like, I wonder if Ray and Kofi went in the back just laughing at each other like, dude, my bad. So we got that. Sami Zayn is walking towards going in there. I'm not worried about the interview with. The thing is this, I like how everything is like seamless on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're watching, it's like everything, it doesn't feel so long. It just feels like it's just continuous. It's like, okay, they got your attention here. Now they're bringing your attention here. What do you think about that?
It's seamless. Because it's funny, like I was talking to like at my job, we're like I'm in a wrestling like in a wrestling little group, and and someone talked about like how the flow of the show, like how like 2.5 hours, like it just flows. You get a lot of stuff done, storylines, matches. I just love how everything just feels like it's effortless, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes to make it work. But it makes it look so effortless. So I love what they're doing in that regard.
Sami Zayn comes in, talks about the Rumble, talks about how he wants this opportunity. Good for Sammy. Then KO shows up. Now, we're all thinking KO is about to murder Sami Zayn, but apparently he's talking about how Sammy is a forgiven man, how he forgives Roman, how he will forgive him, and how they're like brothers. And I'm going, oh, we're playing the mind games. So, look, if this means we're going to get Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, lock me in. I want it. I want to see that real bad, dude. Saturday night main event is going to be Sheamus and Breaker for the IC title. We had Bayley versus Nia Jax, Jax. Just in case someone wanted to know how to spell Nia Jax. Been getting a lot of misspellings lately. Just trying to help people out.
Yes. Let's get that corrected. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So, look, we respect all wrestlers here. All right. So Bayley versus Nia, good match. Roxanne Perez was on ringside. Wasn't there for long because she ends up trying to swing on Bayley, and the security guard just picks up little. Why you gotta do Roxanne like that? She's like, he picks her up with one arm, and she's swinging, kicking, and everything, and I'm just going, cameraman, good job on you. You, but number two, why you gotta do Roxanne like that?
But to be fair, Roxanne got a little bit taller for a brief while. So
yeah, she got to see heights she never achieved.
that's what looks above this. Oh my god!
Put me down. I'm getting motion sickness.
Whoa! Put me down.
Good match between Bayley and Nia, but Nia wins. But then, as Nia is celebrating, Rhea Ripley shows up, and the greatest theme music ever, and she's like beating Nia, showing herself an honor, and the security guards, and then announces that her and Nia are going to wrestle for, I guess, the title at Saturday Night Main Event. So there's our women's match. I was expecting two, but we were getting one match. We're getting then the Judgment Day met. Oh, so this is interesting. Gable meets with Dominic to get in contact with someone to help with their luchador problem. And Dom just gives him a note and basically, just gives him a thing, and he reads it, and he's like, thank you, man. And then Dominic's like, look, we got a problem. I'll step in. And I'm pretty excited, actually, because I'm kind of hoping JD and Dominic win the tag titles, but I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway. And then LaDarius' favorite part, I got to read this out. So we get a Lyric Valkyria about the Intercontinental title, what it means to her now that she's the first women's champ. And then they wanted to play Dr. Martin Luther King video package. And needless to say, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. You'll notice certain wrestlers are being highlighted throughout the video. LaDarius was kind to me enough to point that out as I'm dying laughing at him just going, oh, really? You're really doing this? I'm waiting for you, brother. You'll feel that.
Listen, let me tell you something. First of all, I want to give kudos to Triple. They do it every year.
Yes.
And it's a great moment. And listen, we might see it again next week because it's going to be in Atlanta. So if they do, I'm not going to be upset. But here's the thing. I appreciate the effort. But it was a common theme in all of it. Like, you could have threw in Cody Rhodes, but because he's from Atlanta. So, but no, we're not going to. That's the easy route.
I mean, you could. Cody is Mark. We all know he is. I mean,
And exactly. But notice how every wrestler just kind of looked a little like me. Now, I'm not saying they're all wearing glasses, but
okay. Look.
something to like. Listen, the message was clear, and kudos to WWE for doing a great job. And it's like I say, they do well every year. But let me tell you right now, next month you got to one up yourself. That's all I got to say.
So, all right, we get Penta again against Butch. Man, the more he wrestles in WWE, the more comfortable he's going to be. Because right now, like the entrance is getting. Another video that I saw was Hunter working on like where to place all the stuff for Penta's Pyros. There was a video of him kind of showing Jacob Fatu where he wants him to stand and telling the cameraman what he wants. And small little things like that, the details, I love. So, I enjoy that. Man, the crowd, when they're going to get behind this Zero Mieto, and it's just going to be awesome, especially when the crowd's all behind it. It's getting there. So, what do you think about Penta's second match?
Listen, it was absolutely great. I think we saw. Listen, P Dunn Butch. Listen, it was a great match. It was kind of two different contrasting styles, but both were very compatible in the rings. Butch is more like a technical kind of guy. Penta, but it worked. But it worked out great, and it was very enjoyable. And like I said earlier, Penta, like, the sky's the limit with him. I think, like, even when you watch, it feels like he just fits there. Like, he fits WWE, and like I said, there's more opponents potentially I feel on the horizon for him, and we're just going to keep getting great matches from Penta. Now, every match is going to be a home run, but they're not going to be like terrible matches. We're going to get great matches out of Penta moving forward. So, like I said, him against Butch was an absolutely great match.
I just can't wait till we get like some stories with him, because now knowing he's comfortable speaking English, that actually really opens up some doors. So I'm actually excited about that. I want to go here because now we're going to talk about it. So CM Punk promo was really good. Well, look into my eyes. What do you see? You saw a man coming through the crowd to talk to Jackie Redmond. And normally I don't talk about interviews, but my God, CM Punk. Do you want to take this? I have to ask, because I'm just like, it was fun. I can't lie.
Listen, all I'm going to say is, listen, I'm going to start buying some CM Punk merch.
Yeah, me too.
Because listen, I don't care. Listen, I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the script. I'm going to fairly assume that wasn't in the script.
Yeah, I don't think the John Cena line was in the script. Oh, no, not John. Okay, Roman? Sammy? Oh, him!
Yeah. If I see Hulk Hogan, I'm going to murder. I'm like, whoa. We heard a confession to a crime, and like Jackie Redmond had the look that I had. I'm like, man, that means I'm going to be an accessory. Like it's like you could hear it, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, like this could happen. Like, I'm like, listen, hey Hogan, brother, listen.
Look, you Tony Khan was scared of his life for his life. He feared for his life. Hogan, you better fear for your life, man. If you get near CM Punk.
Well, like Tony Khan, now I understand why you feared for your life. I get it now, because it's like this man. And if I see Hulk Hogan, I'm like, whoa. And then Jackie Redmond just kind of went. That lets me know that wasn't in what was rehearsed. That just a fair assumption.
She messaged Triple H. You do know he sounds pretty serious about murdering Hogan. Hunter, I know, I love it.
I know.
He's coming out with them.
Yeah, I snuck it in. It's great.
WWE saying AEW looks like I did with Penta. Look, what did you do with Penta? It's really cool what that Triple H came out of the Gorilla Help. Yeah, it was. And that's what I'm saying. It's just the small things, and yeah. But yeah, the interview. It's like, even when they're interviewing in the crowd,
Decrepit, yeah. Listen,
called Hogan
that was the
decrepit.
nicest thing he said about Hogan. That was the nicest thing he said.
Yeah, the decrepit was nice. It's when he said, "I'm gonna take his dusty ass and throw his ass out the ring, kill Hulkamania." I'm
So
like,
wait. So Hogan gets a spot in the Rumble, but Vinci doesn't. Listen, I'd be angry too. Like I'd be.
Vinny Vinci's like this. You're not gonna do it, are you? You're not really gonna do this to me, are you?
Like I could toss him out the ring. So here's the thing: we don't think you can. Like I think what's going to end up happening is that he's going to end up tossing him out before, like, when you're.
Hogan gets in the ring, Punk just shows up and throws him out anyway.
Punk, you're not. It's not you yet.
I told you I'd do it on principle.
You heard what I said on Raw, didn't you? You thought I was joking around?
Did you see Jackie's face? She was trying to tell you I meant business. She's my hockey partner.
You see, you see, Jackie. We'll be right back. That's what you.
Oh, Corey Graves is at the commentary booth, folks, on
Mm-hmm.
NXT. I'm not happy about that, just so everyone knows. But yeah. But see, here's the thing. So Corey Graves has he's not happy with what his role is. And yeah, he came out and said something. And WWE didn't let things leak. If you notice, they keep a lot of stuff within. And that's usually a nice thing.
Yeah.
Because then you don't risk, okay, I'm going to tick off my fan base if we lose this guy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, CM Punk, that interview was awesome. And I can't wait because we're going to be in Atlanta and we're going to have Cody Rhodes is going to be live in Atlanta. And I'm pretty confident it's going to be more than 1,500 people.
That's really fair to assess.
And also, I love the memes of Penta looking at the hard cam area going, wow, they get fans over here too?
This is awesome.
Whoa, there's fans up there too. Sorry, guys, I'm not used to this. see that thing you treated about Britt Baker. I can't believe the dude was on the call that the
yeah. It's believable because it's Tony Khan. That's what makes it believable.
It is. Yeah, for sure it was. Let's talk about another good thing here. Fusion Collective, not them, but let's talk about Damage Control. They're still on a roll. I personally think EO. I really like EO. I think EO is going to be someone you see get, either she's going to have a long stint at the Rumble or she's winning. I would like to think. I don't know. That's just a precursor. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But what do you think?
I don't know. Repeat the question because I want to make sure I'm clear, so my answer is very clear on what you're asking.
So my question is this: you have you have Io Sky. She has been amazingly over. Fans are behind her. What say you with Io? Are we going to see Io having one of those rumbles where she's actually going? Basically, it's going to be one of those. She has a longevity one, maybe, or is she just going to win it? What do you think about Io and her chances at her chances basically for the show?
I think with Io, I think the biggest thing with Io is it really like here's the thing. It just feels like, and I also I put like Damage Control in there in totality as well.
Oh, I agree. Like, Tony G got the win. I don't know
And
who that chick was that helped.
it's to me when it comes to EO, I really don't know because to me the bigger story out of that match is pure Fusion Collective. And because like I said with EO, I think listen, anytime EO has a belt or any I don't knock it. I don't get upset about it. It just feels that that's why I say EO could be someone that's very interesting. And when we talk about the women's Royal Rumble, I think her and Dakota Kai are two names to kind of look out for as kind of wild cards there. But like to me, the biggest takeaway to me is that Jesus, John, I'm cold.
No, Lord, what is? Hold on.
like like
Oh,
damn, it's
water.
pure water from. But I think the bigger storyline is about Pure Fusion Collective because here's the thing, I like Zoe Stark, I like Shayna Baszler, and I like Sonya Deville. I'm just curious to see where do you go from there because like I they may not want to admit that hey we kind of screwed up because I just want to see them as a yeah yeah pure it's puree fusion is
You know what? I could see Omos telling someone, "Hey, come here. You want
you
to
want
try
what's a
our
puree fusion spray chocolate blue.
Omos?"
You're in Tokyo, same thing.
Dude, Omos is a very
Yeah,
he knows his sense, man. It's
yeah. He know
hilarious.
listen, and I sense he's doing a great job over there in Japan.
Oh yeah,
So
good job, Omos. Keep going in the pro.
keep going. Listen. There's gonna be no tag team with you and a big. Yeah, just stay over there. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Although
Keep
you
being a
know, but
champion. So, but like I said, I think the bigger storyline out of that match is, I think, like I said, EO, I think Dakota, I think they're, to me, like I said, when it comes to EO specifically, EO as a champion, EO as a contender, because listen, Rhea Ripley has to face someone. I wouldn't mind it being EO. You run it back. I also wouldn't mind like Dakota Kai is going to be kind of in the mix. There's a lot to go with, but my just
yeah,
biggest question is, what are you going to do with Pure Future Collection? Because at some point, I like Zoe Stark. I've been a huge advocate for her. I've always loved Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville, but the commonality between all of them is that they don't have a singles title on their resume. Like, like that, Sonya's the tag team champ, but no individual goal. What's the goal of the group?
yeah,
That's the question I have. Because like when I saw the match, I'm like, okay, well, how is Damage Control going to win? And I said that before, and that's just not a knock because the way they're being booked, I don't know how to feel about them because, like I said, it feels like Fatal Attraction at NXT with JC Jane and Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix. It feels better booked, and it's like I just want, like I say, I want I want them all to succeed, but I don't know how we get there. I guess that's my biggest case. I don't know how we get there, but I would love for them to get there at some point.
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't. I think Shayna and Zoe together was good, but adding Sonya kind of was like just really put it in a bad spot. That's just my thought. But let's talk about this. Hold on. Break up your Zoe can ring down this. No, Shayna's actually good, man. I can't say Shayna needs to go away. I look at what she does. She actually can do a lot of good matches. It's just they've just relegated her to eating pins or Sonya or main event time. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Good match. They worked each other well, and the match got going at the end, really. And so let's talk about it. So out of the blue, Rollins rolls up McIntyre, wins the match, kind of like how Jay beat McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously McIntyre's pissed off and he's going to fight about that. And he's beating him up. Now Sami Zayn comes in. And, look, Jerry sometimes, Sammy just will come in there, house fire, and then screw up the thing because he hits the haluva kick onto Seth. And then, you could have just waited and be like, hey, man, my bad. No, you're out there with him, and as he's waking up, as you just finished hitting him, going, hey, man, I know I knocked you out, but are you okay?
Are you cool? Are you okay, Mister? Like,
And by the way, Bailey's about to come out on NXT, so she's walking to the arena or into the ring here soon. But what's your thoughts on the main event? And honestly, look, I'm getting excited about the Rumble. Saturday night main event we'll talk about real quick. So I'll get the potential card as you speak on that on the main event from last night.
Oh, there's Bailey. Hey, now, sorry, watching. Sorry.
Hey, I love me some Bailey.
I guess. Well, I'll start with my thoughts on Seth and, like I say, my Seth and Drew was a great match. Like, listen, once again, you couldn't go wrong with this match either way, winning from a winning or losing perspective. But what the whole dynamic is interesting to me with Sammy, and kind of where we go from there, because like I said, we talked about Kevin Owens earlier, and like Kevin Owens was kind of proven right to a certain extent, whether we want to admit that or not. But like when I look at Saturday night main event, like if you want to talk about the card, like listen, my biggest hope for Saturday night main event is this. I hope that Hulk Hogan does not show up for the not just because of the whole nonsense in LA, because if Christopher, Marcus Punk is there, like he's throwing you over a top rope just for practice, and that's not good. So, yeah. But like I say, I'm very interested in kind of seeing where we kind of go. Like I say, with the whole dynamic now with Seth, Drew, and Sammy, because I'm just super curious about that. Because you kick a guy, and then you stay in the ring. Are you okay, Mister? It's like, what are you doing? Like Seth looking at me. Seth looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, so I'm just curious to see how that goes, because you can go a lot of different ways in that regard. So, I like Bailey's hair.
That outfit is good on her.
I'm focused on the hair, pal. Focus on.
I love the hair, but I'm looking at the outfit. Look.
Oh, hi, Rhea. Welcome to the show. I heard what you said, CDouble.
Well, she would agree too. I've heard Rhea talk about Bailey. So.
Well, look. He's like, but by the way, I heard what you said, CDouble, about Bailey. We're friends and all, but
hey.
Oh my.
I wouldn't touch Bailey.
You're gonna get the Dominic Mysterio treatment. That's what's gonna end up happening. You're gonna get a riptide.
You know what? Don't make me have to bring up Janaya about JCJ. Okay, all right. Let's not.
Listen, to be fair, they work on two different. Yeah, listen, that's none of your business, and I hope you stay out of my business. In my personal affair.
Exactly, but I'm just saying. We know each other too well. So, Saturday night main event card is shaping up to be good. It'll be Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship versus Nia Jax, JAX. Let's see here. Drew versus pretty good. I want to see where the story goes with Sammy and Seth. Yep. Damn, Bailey is looking thicker than yesterday. Grits! Why are you covering your head there, LaDarius? That's just John giving his flattery opinion.
You know why I'm doing it. Don't be like, oh, why are you doing it? Don't put that more.
I'm not blushing. I agree. She looked, man, those pants are doing her justice. So yeah, Rhea versus Nia. Who are we thinking for this? We think it's just a Rhea show or what?
Yeah, I'd go with Rhea here.
Yeah, I'm thinking Rhea too. Now, unless they do like because here's the thing: we really don't have that many matches for the Rumble. You know, you
Yeah.
have the 2 Rumble, and you have the Cody and KO ladder match. So you
Hmm.
already know there's going to be at least a couple other matches.
Yeah.
So let's see where they go. Oh, is this Julia? Yes, it is. It better be. Julia. God. Oh, it is.
We got a
Sorry.
show. Listen, we got a show to wrap up. What are you doing?
I'm trying. I'm trying. It's not my
No,
fault.
you're not trying hard enough. That's
NXT. Stop it with the hot women. Anyway,
I've been
Jacob
here
Fatu,
I've been being
Braun
professional
Strowman.
the whole time. Listen, I've been professional, and then next thing you know, John and yesterday's grits here. Jesus Christ.
All right, so here we go. Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman. What are you thinking about that?
You know, I wouldn't be shocked that it ends like in a no contest. I really wouldn't. But if I had to pick a winner, you know what? I'm gonna go Fatu.
Yeah, this is one of those type of matches you can, like, Braun can have a good showing,
Yeah.
but have Jacob go over. I mean, because I think this is, if you're going to start establishing Jacob, you need Jacob to have wins and just look dominant. Hell, if he loses, have him lose by disqualification because he's just
Yeah.
out of control. Then that's fine.
Exactly.
I can deal with that. Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. This is interesting because we've already had a false finish with these guys.
Yes.
So do we tease it again, or what do you think? Because this is kind of interesting.
I think we get the tease, but if we don't get the tease, I think I can see a scenario where like Braun Breaker wins clean, and then it sets up. Then we kind of get a setup for WrestleMania, potentially that WrestleMania. I think somehow Ludwig Kaiser is going to play a role in all of this to a certain degree. So if I feel like who am I picking? You know, 1-on-1. Oh my God, the symmetry. Now
I just saw it. Oh God! Dang.
So
this is
is everybody wearing the same thing? So I guess there was a memo.
Leather pants was in today. I mean Bailey's.
But
God.
oh my!
Stop.
But if you had to ask me, if you had to pick a winner between, I would lean Braun for the moment because I think they're saving Sheamus potentially for a WrestleMania moment to complete the Grand Slam.
Oh, and I agree with you. It's like I think they're holding Sheamus for Mania. I do think that.
Yeah.
And I mean that wouldn't be a problem. I don't have a problem. So you could just let it be where Braun beats him, but God, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what? You could have Braun beat him, and then if they're in the Rumble, have Sheamus eliminate Braun, and then this has to continue eventually, and Ludwig eliminates them both or something.
Yeah.
My thing is this. I want to see, as long as the end result is Sheamus winning the Intercontinental title at Mania, I think that would be great. I just want to see us get it. But right now, I'm intrigued by this match. I think this match is going to be good. Don't get me wrong. I actually think this card is better than last Saturday Night Main Event card.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said. Main event, Gunther versus Jay. Oh, God, Lee. Okay, I'm going to say Gunther. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do something crazy with Jay winning the belt. But what do you think?
To me, as much it's going to be a great match, but I'm going to go with Gunther because if you do the Jay situation, I kind of feel you put yourself in the same situation that they're in with Rhea and her having the belt because now you got to find opponents for Rhea. And like I say, I think Jay's moment is coming, but to me, the biggest question is Gunther. I think Gunther wins, but what happens next? Because listen, depending on the outcome of this match, they could run back Gunther versus Jay if they wanted. We just saw Seth versus Drew, a WrestleMania match, as the main event of Raw. So you can run things back. So it's not the issue. I just feel that for Gunther, it's going to be a great match, but I'm going to give it to Gunther. I think Jay's going to put on a great performance, but I'm going to stick with. I'm going to go with Gunther.
Yeah, and I think this will be a very good match. My thing is this: you're going to be able to have a lot of. See, this is going to be interesting because a lot of the guys that are going to be on the card can easily be at the Rumble or be in the Rumble match themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of happy about that. Including Jay, including Sheamus, and I just man, it would be cool if Jay won the title, but I just don't see it now. Especially like we still don't know who's lining up for Gunther at Mania, or if Gunther's going to be champion at Mania. That's the other question.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that comes together. But damn, Kalani George. Oh God, I didn't even think about Jada Parker. Oh God, could you imagine if Tessa tried to step up to Tessa? If Tessa tried to step up to Jada. Jada would kill her. She would kill her.
I feel like, oh, wait, this is not in the script. Oh, wait, somebody do something. No, they're fine.
And then, so far in the Rumble, I just wanted to double check. We only have the ladder match. What was it? The ladder match as well as the 2 Rumble matches. So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
We have not gotten any other word of any other matches. So, I will hold off on Rumble predictions till next week.
Yeah.
And Saturday night main event. It's going to happen this Saturday, guys. 8:00 Peacock. Definitely want to check it out. So get that going. And like I said, I think this one's going to be better than the last one. Oh, and the contract signing between Heartbreak and or Heartbreak's going to be he's going to be the one. God damn, what's the word I'm looking for?
Moderating.
Moderating. He'll be moderating it, and you'll have him doing that while Cody and Kevin are signing the contract. So that'll be interesting there. And Bailey and Julia got into a brawl with Roxanne. Yep, we saw it. Getting Roxanne, it looks like we're getting tag team. Oh yeah, Teddy Long needs to come out and go. We're gonna have a tag team match, player.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, and then next week you're facing the Undertaker. Wait, no.
No. You got to say it like this. And you're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Undertaker's like, you got to stop that. You got to.
That would be hilarious. Or no, you have to go 1-on-1 with the And Undertaker goes, I'm tired of women.
Teddy, there's laws against that.
You'll go 1-on-1 with Rhea Ripley.
I don't know who you are, but yeah.
You know what? I don't care. I want Teddy Long to do that, man, because Teddy Long always popped me every time he did that, man. He was like after every match or after every segment with him or with anyone, you're gonna go 1-on-1.
What?
It's like I'm trying to remember. I know there was one time one of the wrestlers was like, "Oh, let me guess, The Undertaker." Yes.
No. Yes. No.
Yeah. It's like, okay, who? The Undertaker. Oh my God! All right, man. Well, we've been over 3 hours, but you know what?
Yeah.
I don't mind because at least we talk wrestling and we get to put our views out there on all the brands. Because you know what? That's what it's all about. So let's go ahead. Wow, we're seeing armpits of a woman after that. Okay, that's interesting. CW. All right, so let's go ahead, plug your stuff. What you got going on, LaDarius? I know we'll be doing a show together, but let's talk about it. What do we got going on for your channel today?
You can find me on Twitter and TikTok at LaDarius_Brown and Instagram LaDarius_Brown. A writer editor for Beyond Women's Sports. There'll be some point next week that it's going to come out with a piece about predictions about the thoughts on the Women's Royal Rumble and kind of a couple of wrestlers who I think could win it. Be on the lookout. Like I said, we're doing a morning show tomorrow. Look us up, me and CDub there for the morning show. And thank you guys in the chat, and thank you guys for watching and who was watching and listening. It's much appreciated. And then as always, CDub, always an honor.
Oh man, always. And by the way, folks, thank y'all. We had a high 40 plus people coming to watching us, so we do appreciate you guys, every one of y'all. If you're gonna find me, it's at CDouble28 on YouTube, and then also on X, it's CDouble AWTN or Twitter, better known. And look, just stay tuned to what we do. We got the morning show where we're talking Falcons, and also Thursday we do the ATL Beard Gang group where I host the show where we're going to be talking about the playoffs. LaDarius is going to lay it down about the AFC and NFC championship game, and then we're going to have what cut Ron's eye, and then we're just going to talk what we need to expect with this new DC. Who are some guys? What's priority in your minds? So that's just a little hint that's coming into Thursday night's show or Thursday morning show. And also Thursday afternoon, me and LaDarius will actually have a different show about football where we're just going to discuss just the things that we didn't get to, and then be able to go into more our views, because when we host the show, when I host the show, I actually do it a different way versus actually being a participant of it. So it's kind of wild now. So it's like I really need an outlet to talk football. It's like I need an outlet to talk football, but I'm the host of my show. Can someone help me out here?
I need assistance. No, I do.
Hey man, look, you know how it is, man. When you do a show, it's like doing solo shows are hard to do. You don't want to do solo shows because if you're doing solo, it's hard to just kind of feel what people are saying, and being by yourself. And then when you're actually just being yourselves and you're just talking your stuff, and you got partners with you, then it's fun because now you can goof off and have some fun versus being by yourself. So you know how that goes.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Well, like I said, thank y'all for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button, please, for both me and LaDarius. And keep an eye on LaDarius, man. He's been sneaking some shows in, man, and he's gotten some cool guests. So hopefully we could get some of those guests on our show, so we could just talk. Because look, yes, I'm afraid of that one who will make people go missing, but I think it's fun. I love talking football with people that love football. So, and I gotta say, so far it's been fun to really see everyone getting together and talking football. So, all right, guys, I hope y'all had a good time. And for me and LaDarius, we're gonna be out. So we'll see you later on. Take care.
Peace.
Peace. We're gonna hit this.